Good morning, everybody. My name is Don Daniel, founder of Pill Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And today we're going to be talking about how to get easy new business funding. Okay. So please pay attention to today. Pay attention. So we want you, let me bring this up. We want you to actually know how to get credit for your new business, but not just get credit, because there's a lot of people talk about how to get credit, but very few people, well, practically no one is talking about what is the most efficient way to use it, how to leverage, how to optimize your credit, how to pay it back with as little interest as possible. We're going to combine the two ideas today. So if you want to learn more about how to get business credit for your new business, you want to get funding for your new business, this is the show today. And if you want to know how to leverage it properly and cut your interest costs by 50 to 75%, this is your show today. So let's get started. All right. We're getting ready to get started here. And we have a special guest in the studio. Let's bring her in right now. There she is.
Hey.
Hey, Rose, how are you this morning?
I am wonderful. You know what? Let me
what?
This down. I gotta turn my phone down before it starts ringing.
Yeah. It was all right. You were getting some feedback?
Oh, already. Yes.
All right. So we have RoseAllure Louis in the studio with us today. She's going to be talking about how to get new business. I keep saying business credit, but she talks about how to get funding for your new business, which can facilitate you getting business credit later. Is that correct, Rose?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. So listen, folks, once we get all that done, then we're going to be talking about, she's going to be showing you different ways to get that done. So you want to go over to YouTube so that we'll be able to share the screen and so you can see what's going on. It's not just verbal. She wants to show you step by step what to do to get funding for your new business. So I'm going to let her tell you about who she is and what she's going to be doing today. Rose?
Yes, absolutely.
It's on you.
Hey, everyone. Oh my gosh, I am here. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Don, for having me here. I know you've been wanting to get me in the studio for a long time, and I'm finally here.
Yes.
Dedicating some time to kind of break this down to you guys. So first off, I do want to introduce myself. My name is RoseAllure Louis. I'm also known as Credit Goddess. I'm all things credit, where I educate my clients on how to get in the best position for funding. I've been doing this since 2016. I've personally improved my credit back in 2012. I've done that for like 4 years, not knowing what I was doing. I was just implementing what I was reading from this book called How to Build Millionaire Credit, and implemented everything. And 4 years later, I started teaching friends, family, colleagues, wherever I would go, I would just share information. And people were just like, I would rather just pay you for the service. Now, mind you, I started off as a credit educator, never wanted to like start this business. I just wanted to share my information. So finally, 2016, I've started my business, Budget Credit 360 and the Funding Bar, where for almost 10 years now, I've been educating and getting my clients in the best position for funding. I've helped over thousands of people. I believe I funded over $200 million since I started helping people with business funding. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys the different types of funding that are out there. So I will hope you guys bear with me because there's so much information and try to compact it all together just to make it simple. I'm going to try my best. And if you guys have any questions, I am here to answer them. But I want to simplify it as much as possible to kind of eliminate all the confusion that is out there and kind of have a clear path for what you need to do. And then Don is going to talk about how to save on interest, because I know one of the biggest fear from my clients when I talk about funding and funding your business, a lot of people want to bootstrap their business, which is great. I wholeheartedly agree that you should bootstrap it. And let me tell you, if you bootstrap it, you actually are in a better position when you bootstrapping. And what I mean by that is that when you have banks and you have investors, they actually want to know if you put some skin in the game, right? And if you're bootstrapping it with your own money, you're basically betting on yourself, you're betting on your business, right? So if you're betting on yourself and you're betting on your business with your own cash, right? With your own money, your hard-earned money, why not use credit?
Hey, okay.
You have the confidence. You have the confidence. You have the plan. So instead of leveraging your cash, why not use credit? Now I have this saying where I say cash is king and credit is queen. So how many chess players do we have out there? Right? So we know the position of the king, and you know the movements that he can only make: front,
One at a time.
left, side. Right. You're limited, right? You're limited. But when you have the queen can move in all direction, unlimited, all across the board. And guess what? Her position is to protect the king. So let's turn that into cash and credit. Credit protects the cash. So instead of tying up all of your cash on your deals, on your business, right? Let's say that you have $50,000 and you want to start your business and you have depleted all of your 50,000 and you need maybe like let's say that you come into a contract and you need to hire employees, but your money has been tied up in starting the business and now you're short, right? You probably don't have any credit, or maybe you have maxed out your credit. What other options do we have? And there's so many different funding options out there, but usually they want your all types of documents plus your DNA and your blood type, right? But I am going to talk about the easiest way to get the funding that you need for your business. And if you have money saved, I want you to set that aside. Let's talk about how we are leveraging other people's money. Well, we hear this all the time, but I'm going to talk about what type of other people's money we're going to be using. And then Don is going to come right behind me and he's going to talk about how to save on interest. Because listen, this is one of everyone's biggest fear is the interest, right?
That's
Going
right.
into debt.
So Rose, how many stories have we heard about people who have some sort of great product they want to sell, and then they get that contract that they were hoping for and praying for, and they got the big contract, and they said, we need 20,000 units.
Right.
Okay. And they do listen. They have the product, but they don't have 20,000 units. They need the money to put the 20,000 units on the shelf, and
Right.
they don't have the money.
And they don't have the money.
This is the kind of thing we're talking about, folks. When you are ready to fulfill that contract, when you are ready to really take off, and you can't make the money because you don't have the money.
You don't have the money.
So Rose is going to be talking about that today. So Rose, listen, I'm excited to hear about what you have to say.
Yes, absolutely. Give me one moment. I'm going to pull up my screen. I have a lot of notes here, and I want to kind of get that together.
You let me know when you want me to put that screen up, and I will.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. In the meantime, folks, if you're listening to us on Clubhouse and you want to come up to the stage, do that. If you are in our watching us on YouTube, Facebook, I can put a link in the comment section, and you can come into the studio. All right, you can come into the studio and ask your questions here live. All right, so I'm gonna put that in there. So there you are. So that just went out. Just follow the directions. All right, just follow the directions and come on in. If it says take me, oh, it wants to take you back to YouTube, avoid that. Enter into our studio here and we'll be able to help you. Okay. So you want to be able to see that. And I can't wait. So while she's doing that, let me talk to you about what's going to happen next week. I'm going to talk to you about what next week's show. Let me put that up. And next week, we are going to be talking about that navigating the chaos, prosperity in turmoil. Do you listen? Things are happening to our economy, and you want to be able to pivot. You want to be able to say, listen, what is Trump? What is Musk doing to the economy? What can we do to position ourselves better? So you want to be here for next week. All right. So that's going to be good. So Rose, where are we?
I got it. Coming on through.
Okay.
Might as well just present from this
Mm-hmm.
Word document here. Let me move this over to the screen. Can you see my screen?
I can.
Perfect.
All right. You ready?
I am ready.
There it is.
Okay. So I just had to come up with some quick notes. I didn't have time to put any slides together, but
That's okay. That's fine. We just need the information.
Exactly. That's all that matters. So I want to start off with let's debunk what business credit is. So business credit is basically the business's credibility, right? A lot of times we run into like you said, the folks that are looking for $20,000, and then they say, well, I need $20,000 so I can be able to do this, and I need business credit. And it's like, okay, so do you know what business credit is? So I did come up with a definition here so that you guys can understand what, the business credit is. So breaking it down in simple form, business credit is your business's financial reputation, right? So when we say I need business credit, let's use the right term. Business credit is just the business's credibility. What you're actually looking for is funding. Now, when you come to me for funding, I will want to know what you're going to use for funding, because there's so many different types of fundings that's out there. You have MCA. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know what MCA stands for, but MCA stands for Merchant Cash Advance. Usually this is offered to businesses with revenue, right? So a lot of times we are in business and it's brand new and we do not have any revenue. So what do? So now we're stuck. Like where do we go now? Most of us are looking for grants, right? Because they do fund businesses, whether you're a minority owned, woman owned, or whether you're a startup business, they'll give you funding to start your business. So we look for grants. And of course, we look for grants because we really don't want to pay back. We just want to jumpstart our business, right? So I get it. And that will require, you finding where the grants are and then also meeting those deadlines, right? So now if we don't meet the deadline or if we don't find any grants, then what's next, right? Then you have equipment financing. Equipment financing is usually you would use that. Either you would use the product, or I'm sorry, not product. You would use the equipment for collateral, or you can actually get funding for that particular equipment. So whether it's a truck, whether it's a printer, an expensive commercial printer, is it dentist equipment, or is it any medical equipment, anything like that? That's considered equipment financing. You don't necessarily have to jumble everything that you need. Like, say, if you say I need 500,000, and that includes everything that you need for your business, including the Sprinter van, including all of the equipment that you need for your business, marketing and things like that. I need to know specifically what it is that you need funding for, so that way we can go to the different sectors and get funding in those in wherever the financial institution that is providing it, right? Because every financial institution have their own appetite for what they are willing to fund for. So you want to make sure that you know exactly, and this is why you need a business plan. A business plan in which you will have the itemized sheet where you break down everything that you're going to be using the funds for. That is very important. So that way we know where you're going to use, where you need the money and where you're going to put it to. So that way we can get you funding. Now,
So Rose, what if I don't have a business plan? Is that something you can help people with?
I can.
Okay,
I definitely
great.
can. Yes.
Okay,
So
what
definitely
would be the next step?
the next step. Now, if you don't have anything that I was just talking about, you don't have any revenue, you don't have a business plan just yet. Some of you guys have turnkey businesses that, you know, don't require so much to get started, but maybe you need money to put towards marketing. Maybe you need an assistant, or maybe you need to get a website up and things like that. What I'm going to just get right to it. This is what I call syndicated line of credit. Okay.
Okay.
Syndicated line of credit. We right here. Syndicated line of credit. So what a syndicated line of credit is where we go to different financial institutions to get you funding up to $250,000 or even sometime up to $500,000.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Up to $500,000. Now, this is all going to be leveraging your personal credit.
Mm-hmm.
I know. A lot of people, a lot of you guys don't want to.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. You know, people say, "Well, I want to just get business credit, so I'm not leveraging my personal credit." But listen, folks, what she's going to be talking about is that unless you're a multi-million-dollar business, all of your credit, whether it's business or whatever, is going to have a personal guarantee.
Yes.
Okay. It could say business credit card. It could say business credit all day long, but it's going to be backed up with your personal guarantee. You have to make a lot of money before that business credit can stand on its own. So it's all PG or personal guarantee. So don't think you're going to get around that, and don't listen to people who tell you can get around it. Okay. All right, Rose.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. I'm glad that you highlighted that, because this is where we want people to fully understand what business credit is. And a lot of people do say, like, you know, they want to separate the two. And you did highlight that you have to be making a lot of money. Now, what that means, and let's put a term to that, that is corporate credit. That is corporate credit. But in order for you to get the corporate credit, you have to get past the business credit. And I just mentioned what the definition is of business credit is your business's financial reputation. So you have to build the business's reputation. And this is where you hear where they say, you know, make sure that your business is properly structured, make sure that the business has its address, phone number, website, things like that, its own identity, its own brand. Then we need to start establishing the business's credit, which is doing business with other businesses like myself and Don. We're doing business with each other. We can actually document, our experiences, our payment experiences with each other, and have it reported on the different credit reporting agencies like Dun and Bradstreet. You guys mentioned, hey, I got a Dun's number. Okay, great. Well, that is one data reporting agency. We also have Experian. We have Equifax. We have the SBSS, which is the small business scoring system. We have Credit Safe. We have PayNet. There's so many different credit reporting agency that you need data, and the data is your payment transaction. So that is the business's financial reputation that you are building and is being documented and reported, and you receive a score. That is what business credit is. Okay. That's what business credit is.
So that's business credit. But
business credit.
But this ain't that.
This ain't that. This ain't that. So the business credit, once you've established that business's reputation, now you move up to corporate, because at that moment, now you are making millions of dollars in your business. You have employees, right? Because that's the goal when you start a business, is to employ people, of course. That's the goal. And you have 9+ employees. Now you're at a corporate level, and here at this moment, you don't have to no longer PG.
Mm.
Okay? No longer have to PG because the business can stand on its own financially and credibly. Okay. The business is now fundable. So, with all that said, if we don't have any of that, then what we have to leverage is our personal credit, which is why it's so important that you have your personal credit together. And let me slide up because I'm going to talk about what your credit profile needs to look like. And I'm going to talk about the stage 1 of funding, where you can get anywhere from $50,000 to $250,000.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness, I'm getting excited already. How we could get the money you need to market, the money you need to get products, the money you need to actually produce what it is that you're producing, to
Yep.
hire employees or whatever it is that's going to get in your way of producing revenue. Credit Guy is going to show you how to remove that block from your business. Go ahead.
All right. So stage one, you want to make sure that you have no negatives. Now I'm going to highlight so you guys can follow me here. This is one of our biggest hurdles, and why sometimes we are at that brick wall where we can't move any forward, like we can't move any further, especially if we have brand new businesses. Like I said, if you do not have business credit established, and then on top of that, you don't want to leverage your personal credit, I get it. You can definitely establish business credit, but that's going to take time to establish. You have to build your reputation, right? As I've already just briefly mentioned. But if you just want to bypass all of that and get the funding right now, you can leverage your personal credit. This is one of the C's of credit. You have character. There's 5, but I'm going to talk about the top 3. You have character, you have collateral, and then you have cash flow. You can leverage any of those 3 to get funding. But this here is going to talk about your character. This is your personal credit. This is you. Okay. You are credit. Leveraging that, you can get the funding that you need. Stage 1, you can get anywhere from $50,000 to $250,000. Okay. Preferably, your credit score needs to be at a 720 plus FICO score, right? But we can go as low as a 680. But if you're at a 720, you get the maximum funding with a 720. 680, depending on how solid your credit profile, and I'm going to talk about what solid mean, because it's not about the score, it's about the profile. Okay. Depending on how solid your credit profile is, you can tap into anywhere between 50 to 250K. Now, on average, the clients that come to me, whether they're a real estate investor, brand new business, or they're just looking to expand, I get them anywhere from 95 to 150,000 just starting off with a business that have not produced any revenue. They just sat on their LLC. They don't have any revenue coming through their business, and they're able to get 95 to 150K. That's on average.
Wow.
We've gotten more, but on average is anywhere between 95 to 150K. But there's more.
So I'm seeing on the screen here that the first thing we need to get is no negatives. But what if I do have negatives? And a couple of things we want to do. If you're in business and starting out, you're always going to have hurdles to jump. You may have problems to overcome. Don't stop. Keep going. Don't give up on your dream because there is a hurdle. For every problem, there is a solution. So if you have negatives on your credit, what is the solution to that, Rose? And can you help them with that?
Of course.
Really? Okay, yes. So there's a solution to this.
Yes. Now here's the thing, you guys, and I'm going to say this, and this may shock people. When I say no negatives, I don't want you guys to think about, oh my gosh, I got this repossession. Oh my gosh, I got this collection on my credit. I won't qualify because she said no negatives. Let me give you the caveat to that. What is considered a negative is if the account is still open with a balance.
Mm.
If you paid off the collection, zeroed off, closed, paid as agreed, I can still get you funding.
Oh boy, here we go.
I can
Here we
still
go.
get you funding. Listen, when I tapped into the funding side and I've learned more, because a lot of times we tend to make things absolute, but what people fail to understand or fail to explain, especially bankers and anyone that's in the financial space, they just automatically just deny people. But lucky that I'm a credit educator and I study these things and I ask tons of questions. So when I've learned that we can still finance someone with a late payment, as long as the late payment is not within a year, right? But if you have a solid credit profile, and what I mean by a solid credit profile is that you've been in this credit space or you've been in a credit game, let me call it a credit game. You've been in a credit game for 5, 6, 7 years. They're going to look at your consistency of how long you've been consistently making your payments on time. So even if you have that one late payment, it's not going to hurt you. If you
Okay.
have, here we said 3 to 5 accounts. If you
Mm-hmm.
have 3 to 5 accounts or even more, that's even better. The more accounts, the better. If you just have one late payment from one account, is not going to stop you from getting approved for
Good.
funding.
All right, let's go through the points.
Okay. So you don't want to have no more than 4 inquiries per bureau in the last 12 months, right? A lot of times we tend to, look for funding here. We go and apply for a home here. We go and, apply for, an auto loan here. And then we get a couple of credit cards here and there. Now, let me explain this to you. When we say increase, we don't want to see increase tied to a credit account. It can be a
Mm.
home, it can be a mortgage and things like that. It's a totally different product. It's a different
Mm.
product. So we're not going to count that against you. You don't want to have too many of those, but we're not going to count that against you. We just don't want to see no more than 4 increase of credit card increase.
So what if I don't know what I have? Can you help me to know what I have so we can move forward? And if my credit profile isn't looking as good as it should, can you give me advice on how to get it there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You guys can go to my website, Budget Credit 360. That is my credit coaching website,
Hmm.
and go to the credit analysis. And this
Ah,
is where we can have this conversation. Like you have your income.
yes.
Yeah, you have that. I have the credit analysis. So you guys can tap into that and we can have a sit down and we can go over your credit profile line by line. And I explain to you. I like to have this saying where I say, I don't believe in giving a prescription without a diagnosis.
There you go.
Yeah, I have to know what's going on with your credit profile to give you accurate information. I can speak in general. Everyone can speak in general, but we have to take a look at your profile to give you what you need to do because everyone's profile is different, just like a fingerprint. Okay.
Okay. So what's our next step?
Next step, you want to make sure there are no negatives in the last 4 to 5 years, no
Hmm.
collections. Now, I did mention that the collections has to be paid off and closed. If it's open and have a balance, we need to take care of that. Okay. Late payments, child support, bankruptcies. Bankruptcies is a definite no-no. Okay.
Uh-oh.
And I can definitely help you get the bankruptcy off your credit as well. Okay.
Hmm.
Technically, bankruptcies are not supposed to be on your credit report.
Oh.
No, because the
Oh.
court the court did not provide that information.
Okay.
So that's for us to know. So definitely tackle the bankruptcy off your credit.
So what I'm
Chart-
hearing, so what I'm
Mhm.
hearing from that is there are a lot of people who will see that or understand or find out that they have it, and they don't seek professional help to know that there's something that can be done. They just
Mhm.
give up at that
They
point.
just give up. Yeah, they just give up or don't
Okay.
inquire because they just accept it.
Mm.
And you don't have to accept it. You don't have
Listen,
to.
folks, don't accept what you can see. You don't know what you don't know.
Right. You don't know
Hire
what you
the
don't know.
professional. We hate to hire the professional. because we think we're losing money. And folks, I'm telling you, you don't hire the professional, you will be losing money or losing out on opportunities. You don't know what you don't know. Get some help, and then you'll find out. It says, "Oh man, I waited and I didn't have to
You
wait.
didn't inquire.
I
Yeah.
could have had this. I could have had this taken off years ago."
Years ago.
Lord have
Years
mercy.
ago.
Come on, Rose.
Sometimes we get in our own way. We don't clarify or get, like you said, professional help, professional advice. Sometimes I know, sometimes we feel as though like we don't want to get sold to because we're not in a position to do anything, or whatever the case is. But I always say, hey, listen, get clarity, get the information. No, don't have someone tell you, and don't assume, just know for sure.
Exactly.
Always hire a professional and we'll tell you exactly what you need to do.
All right, let's go to the next point.
The next point, 3 to 5 credit accounts. Now, when I say credit accounts, you need to show experience that you know how to manage different types of credit, whether it's revolving, those are credit cards, installment loans, mortgages. You need to show you need to diversify your credit profile. Not having any experience on your credit profile, which means no credit, you have no experience. And if we're trying to tap into business funding, consider this like going from high school to college. You can't go to college if you didn't go to high school. Okay. You can't go to college if you have not, built a solid GPA, especially if you're trying to go to the Ivy Leagues, right? So that is the goal. You need to establish credibility. So have 3 to 5 credit accounts so that you can show experiences, especially with balances, or I would say not balances, but limits over $10,000. You want to at least have that.
So I can have credit cards. That's one. Would a car loan be considered different from that?
No, it's different because it is an installment loan and it's a different product. It's a different financial product. Yep.
And then a mortgage would be okay. Now, what if I am a second signer on maybe a line, a HELOC or something like that? So it wasn't mine, but I'm on it. Does that count? Does that count as mine?
No.
Oh.
Good question, though. That's a very good question because a lot of, and this is just my observation, a lot of people are pressed for time, so they'll do the authorized user, right?
Yeah.
They'll piggyback off of someone else's hard work, and I say someone else's hard work because they put in the time. If we're in a position where we're trying to push the needle to look as though that we are experienced, this is when we tend to, piggyback off of someone else. And it's almost like cheating on someone else's paper to pass the test.
Okay.
That's it. So lenders don't like to see authorized user accounts. They literally want to see primary accounts. And what I mean by primary accounts, meaning that you are the owner and you're a first position. Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there really aren't any shortcuts.
No.
Okay. So if I see something on YouTube University that's telling me I can get to where I need to be, and there's a shortcut, there's a trick, there's a tip, and all you have to do is pay me $3,000 and I will get you where you want to go, and we can circumvent all of this. Are you telling me don't listen to those people?
No.
Don't do it.
You're going to get pushed to the back of the line.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, I want people to know this, and it's going to go all over the YouTube world. Listen,
yes.
It's not about getting approved, because you can get approved. And what you don't hear a lot is when people get their limits slashed or they gotten their credit taken away once they got in. See, these tips and tricks and hacks will get you in the door. But if you don't have the proper education on how to maintain your credibility, that can be taken away, snatched away in an instant.
Wow.
In an instant.
No shortcuts.
No shortcuts, please. No shortcuts, please. Please take the time. So if you've been having this idea of getting your credit together, I say start now, because the moment you start, the clock starts. Because like I mentioned here, this is the next line. You need to have 2 years of personal credit history. Your 2 years start today.
Okay.
Your 2 years start today. So if you don't start today, you're delaying your start, your clock.
Well, listen, I don't. So if somebody comes here, I don't need really 2 years. I can buy a um a line or somebody's pre-established line. I could buy it. Can I do that?
You can, but you
Okay.
still need your own personal credit.
So
You
there's still
still
no
need
shortcuts.
There's still no shortcut. You
Oh
still
my.
need it. You still need it. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you want to manipulate the computer,
Hmm.
the AI or whatever you want to call it, because they
Yeah.
have their set requirements. They have requirements. Now when I say requirements, let's use something relatable that we all been through. We went to school, right? So if in order for you to go to college, let's say Howard University, you need a 3.5 GPA. You need to have met all of your credits, all of your classes, turn in an essay. You've met all the requirements and you submit it online. As long as you hit those those points in those requirements, you're in the door, right?
Okay. We have something's going on with our sound. All right. Try it again, Credit Guys.
Okay. Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
No, so let me mute you and then come back. All right. Try it again.
Okay. Can you hear me
No.
now?
Yeah, but it's garbled. Okay.
Oh.
All right, folks. I need you on Clubhouse. Help me out here. When Credit Goddess speaks, how's it coming across? Is it coming across okay? Does it sound? Help me out. Somebody put something in the chat. Say, okay, she can hear it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, say something now, Credit Goddess.
Okay. Can you guys hear me
Oh,
loud
it's
and
good
clear?
now. It's good now.
Perfect.
Okay,
Perfect.
I got Todd Baker on. He's he's a friend of mine, and he's listening to you right now. Hey, Todd. Go
Hey,
ahead.
hey, Todd.
All right, let's go.
Oh,
Let's go.
okay. So it's just like meeting the requirements to go to a particular university, right? So if you
Mm-hmm.
submit online, you've met all the requirements, you're in the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it is when it comes to credit. If you apply online and you meet all the requirements, you're in the door,
Right.
right? But it may be a review. Sometimes they do reviews, and I wouldn't say sometimes they do reviews. They do
Mm-hmm.
reviews every 5-6 months and things like that. And sometimes people's limits get slashed because, based on the trend, or they were in the door leveraging or piggybacking off of someone else's credibility. Things happen after that. You don't hear
Right.
a lot of those type of stories, but I'm just letting you know, we don't do the tips and tricks. I would rather teach you the organic way on
Mm-hmm.
maintaining your credit, building, establishing, and maintaining your credibility so that way you can access more and more money. So,
That is so important, folks. I just want to
so
make sure
important.
that we stress that. Thank you.
Stress that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please. And then optional, you can have a tax return and pay stubs of 65K or plus. Now, I help people get funding, and I'm going to say this to you guys, and you guys didn't hear it from me,
Mm-hmm.
but I want you guys to know this rule of thumb. If you want to get approved for high limits, let's just say that they give you a third of what you state your income is.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Listen, I need you. I need you to say that again for the people in the back.
in the back,
In the back. Say it again.
they will give you a third of what you state your income
Come on
is.
now. I need y'all to listen.
I'm
Because
gonna just leave it like that. I'm not sharing those.
this is a gem. This is a gem. All right. A third of your stated income. So do your math, ladies and gentlemen, is what
Do
she's
your
trying to
math.
say. Do
Do
some
your math.
math.
Do
Okay.
some math. Do
All
some math.
right.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. So now this is stage 1 of funding with personal credit of 720 plus, no more than 4 increase in the last 12 months, no negatives in the last 4 to 5 years, no collections, late payments, child support, bankruptcies, charge-offs, 3 to 5 credit accounts reported, right? 2 years of personal credit history, and then optional tax returns of 65K or plus. You can be in business for a year. Okay, that's
Mm.
optional. You can be in business for a week,
Mm.
3 months, and
What?
you will qualify for 50 to 250K.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
250K. I can show you
Okay.
guys some examples. I would have to go into my file in my computer. I'll show it to you
Mhm.
guys. We're getting people approved. Chase is very generous
Mhm.
with their Chase inks. I'm getting $75,000 approvals, $58,000 approval, and the highest $100,000 approval. And we get clients anywhere between 4 to 7 different financial institution business credit cards. And when I say $100,000 with Chase, that's just 1 out of 5 credit cards we get them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And now let's talk about stage 2. Now, this is for the business owners that also have revenue. They have good personal credit and they have revenue. That's a perfect combination because now we have 2 C's of credit. We have your character and we have your cash flow.
Okay.
Double the funding. Okay. You can get anywhere from 250K to $1 million.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Double the funding because you have your good personal credit and you have revenue. I want you guys to hear me again when I say this. You got your good personal credit and you have revenue. Okay.
And
It maximizes your funding. Because I get this all the time, Don, where
yes.
people come and they want $500,000 and they haven't started their business yet. And the question I always ask, do you have revenue? Because if we're trying to go over 250, we need to show some type of revenue. But if you don't have revenue, can't get there. Now, if you have credit partners, and this is why, and let me bring it all in full circle. We have this conversation where we talk about generational wealth or, getting our family right with their credit. Now, if I can get 250K, Don can get 250K, his wife can bring in 250K, that's already 750,000 that we can bring on to a deal or start a business together. We don't have to do it alone. We talk about this all the time, how we build generational wealth. Get everyone's credit profile together, get everyone's credibility together. And that is going to maximize the funding instead of it just being a sole investor.
Let's talk about that for just a second and the importance of if you're husband and wife, okay, husband and wife, should you limit the number of credit applications both names are on?
No.
You shouldn't? Okay.
Shouldn't.
Okay. Why is that?
You shouldn't. Well, are you saying limit how many credit cards they get? Or
no, I'm talking about where both of them are on the same application. Both of them are on something. I want to be in real estate or whatever, and we go in it together. So we both own this house. We both own this credit card. We both own this. Should we go into credit together or go into credit separately?
Separate.
Why is that?
Separate. Okay, because when we're talking about debt to income ratio, right? When we're talking about debt to income ratio, we don't want to show the same amount of debt on both ends because if you're combining income, if you're combining income and you're combining debt, both of you guys share the same income and debt. So we maxed ourselves out.
So if I have a $400,000 mortgage and we're both on it, we both show 400,000.
Yes.
Wow. And not 200,000 each.
When each of you could have gotten your own house.
Oh,
especially
wow.
if you have the income separately, both of you guys could get their own house. Now, both of you guys can pay the mortgage together.
Right. But this is strategy, folks. This is strategy. So you want to have your credit, you want to have your spouse's credit. But when you want to get into business, you want to do these things, look at these things ahead of time and make sure you have you're working together, but you have separate credit profiles. The more you link your credit profiles, you just limit the amount of money you're able to get.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because they do look at your debt to income ratio, and they look at your debt to credit as well. So
Mm.
you do want to have your own, but when you're coming in as individuals, and you're maximizing the amount of funding that you can get individually, but
Yes.
together,
But together.
but together, but together. Okay.
I love it. I love it. I
Yes.
love it. Let's go, credit guys. I'm
All
getting
right.
more excited now.
I know. Okay, so personal credit preferred, to get the maximum funding, you need a 720 plus credit score, but we can go as low as 680. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 4 increase per bureau, just like the other. No negatives in the last 4 to 5 years. No collections, late payments, child support, bankruptcies, charge off. 3 to 5 credit accounts. Now, that doesn't mean to stay at 3 to 5 credit accounts, because if
Mm-hmm.
you want a perfect 850 credit score, you need 21 plus accounts
Okay.
to get to a perfect 850 credit score. Now, that doesn't mean that all of these accounts have to be open. They can be closed off too. So you can have closed off mortgages, student loans that's paid off, personal loans that's paid off. Those are considered trade lines that will report for the next 7 years before it drops off. So you should be building, establishing credit, borrowing as much as possible, showing your capacity, showing your ability to pay back your debt. The more of that type of information is reported on your credit, the stronger your credit worthiness becomes, right? When you don't have any type of transactions, any type of data on your credit profile, this is what we consider a thin credit profile.
Mm.
If you've ever gotten denied because your credit profile is too thin, that's what it means. You don't have enough experience,
Okay.
right? So that's what that means. So now in business, this is the business sector with revenue. You need
Mm-hmm.
to have 2 years or more of business tax returns. Now, here we go.
Okay.
Because the very first funding, I didn't mention anything about documentations.
That's true.
No documentations. Now, if we're going to get 250K to $1 million, we need to show documentations at this point,
Mm.
because we're asking for a little bit more money, and this is unsecured. Okay.
Okay.
So you need to show 2 years or more of business tax returns, because they do want to see your capacity. Okay. And what you reported to the IRS is the actual money that you made. Okay. 3 to 6 months of bank statements. Here is
Okay.
another documentation, because now that we have tax returns, we know that we've been filing. We know how much money you made that year, what you wrote off, what your AGI looks like, your adjusted gross income look like. Now we want to see actual proof of transactions in and out of your bank account. We want to see with deposits, more than withdrawals. We want to see deposits. So that's another set of proof. Okay. Bank statements. Okay. And then you need to have a minimum revenue requirement of $250,000 a year to
Okay.
$2 million a year.
That's gross revenue.
That's gross revenue.
Okay.
Gross revenue. All right.
Right.
The larger your business, the larger the lines you're able to secure. And when I
Okay.
mean lines, we're not talking business credit cards right now. We are now talking about business lines of credit. So when you're showing revenue, you now can tap into business lines of credit. Business
Okay.
credit cards is a different product. Business credit cards is what I mentioned up above, where you can get 50 to 250K. And this is just based on showing that you have an active and registered business with the Secretary of State and an EIN letter and your
Mm-hmm.
driver's license. That's all you need to show to get up to 250K. But when we're tapping into business lines of credit, that is revenue-based product. So you need to show revenue, you need to show proof of income, you need to show those things. Now we can then add the business credit cards and the business lines of credit combined to get you up to $1 million.
Mm.
Okay. $1 million. So now what makes a credit profile fundable? And I want to make it very easy. You need 10% or less of credit utilization. Okay. Credit utilization. If you guys don't have any credit cards, I need you guys to go get one, because if we're trying to tap into business credit cards, business lines of credit, we need to show experience that we know how to handle credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you need to have that reflecting on your personal credit profile, 10% or less. Let me give you this. If you are using 40%, because you don't want to go over 40%, but let me tell you, I still get people funding with 40% utilization.
Oh.
And they still get approved for high limits, because on the business side, you can max out your credit card because it's needed. You have so many expenses, more expenses than if you were to, use credit on the personal side. You know what I'm saying? So on the business, 40% is good.
Okay.
40% is good. It shows that you use credit when they see that. 100% on-time payment, please. 100% on-time payment is a fundable profile. Zero charge-offs, zero collections, zero late payments, 3 to 4 years of credit history, 10 to 12 positive accounts. I know I said 3 to 5, but the more the better.
Okay.
And that can be a combination of student loans, mortgage, and credit cards. That's 10 to 12. I didn't say go get 10 to 12 credit cards. I just said 10 to 12 positive accounts reporting. And
You
then
said, go ahead, Krika, because I have a question.
And then 2 or less hard increase in each bureau.
Okay. So when we see advertisements for easy credit, we see advertising, I can get you this, I can get you funding, I can get you this. You don't get funding unless you go through all of this. They're just not telling you.
No.
Don't believe that that they have some sort of magic wand that they can get around this process.
Right.
The process, if it's legitimate, is going to be the same. Don't believe that you can get to where you want to go without going through the process. Is that correct?
That is so correct.
Okay.
I'm glad that you're really that you're just winding it down and narrowing it down. There's no way around that. No way. Nowhere. As I mentioned, and this is the reason why I mentioned the C's of credit, because those are your bargaining chips to get funding. Your personal credit, collateral, and cash flow.
This is how people get scammed, ladies and gentlemen. They get scammed thinking, I need to get around this. But if you don't have all of these things in place, that doesn't mean you can't get it right. It might take some time, but you can get it right.
Gotta get it right.
We can work with Rose on how to get it right. So this is why you want to work with a professional. Find out what you have in place, find out what you don't have in place, and then find out how to fix it.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Absolutely. Now, the syndicated line of credit, as I mentioned earlier, is the fastest and easiest way to get funding.
Oh boy, here we go.
The fastest and easiest way to get money. And like I mentioned, you don't have to provide any documentation. They're all stated income. Stated income.
Okay, one more time. Very loud for the people in the back.
Stated income.
So get some, make sure you get some education on what it is that you need. So, when I got some business credit, it was very important that when we're stating our income, I stated what my business plan says I need to make. And I didn't cut it short. Okay. I stated what what my vision was for my business. Okay. I didn't state what my business is making now.
Right.
I stated what my vision was for my business, which was greater than what I'm making now.
Yes. Okay. I'm glad that you said you are rocking with me, Don. You are with me. We are tango, like we were playing tango. It's a dance. I love this dance. Yes, that is perfect. Yes, that's what stated income is. And what he just mentioned is called projections. Projections. You are allowed to give projections. You don't have to mention how much money you're making. I've seen so many applications where because we do pre-qualification, and
Right.
I'll share that link with you guys on how to get started. If you meet any of those requirements, I will put the link on how we can get you a pre-qual. It doesn't require any hard pull. It's a soft pull if you just want to know what your credit profile is worth to get you the funding that you need today, right?
Mm.
There's no obligation to you. If you just want to see where you are, I'll put the link, or I have Don share that link with you guys later
Okay.
on. And then that way you guys can complete that. And I will go over that review with you.
Can you send me
What
that
your
link? Because there may
Yes.
be some people that need to jump off.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll share that link. Yes.
Okay.
So now here, stated income, you don't have to state what your business is making now. So if you're saying that I'm not making any money,
Oh boy.
then you're not going to get any money.
Okay.
Okay. You might get approved. You might get approved because of the strength of your credit profile, probably like for $10,000. But if you want $100,000, then you want to give projections. Okay. So here's a projection. Okay. So I don't want you guys, when you guys are looking for funding, you're thinking about now. Because of course, right now you're thinking that, okay, all I need is just $10,000 so I can do X, Y, and Z. When I say projection, you need to be a visionary. You need to envision where you're going to see your business in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and how this funding is going to get you there, right? Because in business, we're not thinking about today.
Yes.
We're thinking about the future. So if you need $100,000 to do, you need a van, because if you're thinking about today, you're probably like thinking like, I need a website. I need to market. I need a social media manager. So when you think of those numbers, you're probably like, oh, that's just $5,000. Okay, but what if you need a Sprinter van? You have a salon. You want to pick up people. You want to offer a unique service where you pick up your clients, right? So what if that is in the play in the next 6 months, because you think so big? And I know many of you guys have some big ideas, but I want you guys to think big. Don't think about today, because you're only thinking small. If you're thinking about today right now, I need you to think for the future. Where do you see your business? Who are you assisting? How many people are you assisting? How many people are you trying to attract? You want to think of all of those things, write those numbers down, and then you want to put that in your projections, because that's what that is.
That, ladies and gentlemen, that's a gem. That's huge. You need to think about that, because right now, so I was in a position where, let's say I made, 100,000 last year in my business, and I need to borrow some money. I'm not going to base that on, if I made 100,000, what am I going to be making 5 years from now? What's my projection? That's what I'm going to be shooting for now. My projection, not on what I did last year. Okay. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. You'll find out that, I could have done something different. Listen, and listen closely to all of this advice we're getting today. Come on, Credit Goddess.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I didn't talk about what the interest rate would come with the funding. And this is what I love about this collaboration here, because you talk about how to save interest up to 75% in interest. And if we just did the calculation, we can see that if it was just no interest at all, isn't it same as cash?
Somebody's asking for the link.
Yes, I would get that over to you.
Okay.
So if we were to set aside the interest and there is no interest, isn't it same as cash?
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. Right.
I love it.
So what you're teaching is how to save up to 75%, because I mean, at some point we're gonna pay some type of interest, right?
Right.
But we're trying to pay off the debt sooner than.
But we don't have to pay, folks, we don't have to pay all the interest the bank is asking for. That's just a suggestion. We show you how to give the money back to the bank using your current budget, how to give them money back without them charging interest. I can show you how to give the money back to them and make it impossible for them to charge you all of that interest. When I say impossible, I mean just that. Okay. Make it impossible for them to charge you all that interest. That's what we're going to be talking about, because that's what, if you're worried about being able to pay it back and you don't want to be in debt long term, then learn how to give them their money back without all of the interest. And you don't have to get 0% to do that.
Right.
I'll show you how to manipulate an amortization schedule, how to read it, how to understand it, and how to beat it, so you can disrupt the bank's timing so you don't have to pay them all of that interest. Okay? All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So guess what?
Yeah. So you want to put that, in the private chat when you're ready.
Okay. I'm doing that right now. So with the funding that I just mentioned that you can get, it comes with a 0% interest.
Okay.
It comes with a 0% interest for a limited time. Okay. Just to get your business up and going, where you're not worrying about interest, enough time for you to tap into Don's program. So that so that way you can learn how to save on interest once it starts kicking in. Or maybe if you paid it off before it kicks in, that's even better. But if you have access to $250,000 and you're having to pay interest on that, it is a great idea to learn how to cancel interest. So that way you're not allowing the fact that there's a 14.99% on the credit cards or 24.99% on the credit cards, and you don't use it at all.
All right. So let's talk about that for a second while you're getting that together. So you mentioned a 24 point what?
24.99%.
So some of your clients will see that and cringe, correct?
Yes, they would.
Okay. So give me a credit card limit. All right. And I'm gonna put that on the screen, 24.99, and I'm gonna show you something simple to deal with that. So how much is my limit on my credit card at 24.99?
Let's say your limit is 50,000.
50,000. Okay, folks. So first of all, I'm gonna put this on the screen while she's doing that. Okay. All right. So we're gonna put this on the screen. Let's see. All right. So we need to take this off and put this on. There we go. So we've got $50,000, okay, at 24.99. Okay, 24.99. All right. Now, here's the thing. Just because you have $50,000 limit doesn't mean you need to use all $50,000. All right. Okay. Wait a second. I took you off. let me put you back on here. I'm sorry. The stage. Just because you have a $50,000 limit doesn't mean you have to use all 50,000. Okay. That doesn't mean you're going to pay interest on 50,000 if you have a $50,000 limit. You're only going to pay interest on how much you use.
Right.
Okay. So let's just say on 50,000, I've used 25,000 of it. Okay. And don't let anybody tell you you have 24.99. You better get rid of that. Let me show you what that really means. Don't look at the interest rate. Okay. So I'm using Brett Whistle to figure this out. We're going to put in 240 months. All credit cards are amortized over 240 months. We got $25,000 limit, and I'm going to show you what that really means as far as interest in dollars and cents. Okay. So the first interest payment on this is, let me scroll down here. Okay. The very first interest payment is $520.63. Okay. $520.63. So if you can make money, all right, if you're making money, and all right, Kenneth Brown. So the link is coming, my brother. The link is coming. All right. If you're already making money, all right, and he says, well, it's going to cost me about $500 a month to deal with this. but I'm already making $5,000 a month, or $4,000 a month, or $3,000 a month, or even $10,000 a month. You can afford this. Look at the dollars and cents, break it down. How much interest is it actually costing me? How much does it cost me to make $5,000? I'm telling you, folks, if it costs me $500 to make $5,000, I can do that all day. Don't
Right.
let that bother you. Don't let it bother you at all while we're doing this. But know what the dollars and cents say. Don't just look at the interest rate. Look at what that really means. So let me show you what 24.99 really means. So I'm going to bring my calculator up on the screen so you guys can see it. 24.99. I'm going to pull this over here. Okay, 24.99. Okay, let's get rid of all this. Okay, 24.99. That is the yearly rate. That's your yearly rate. So what they're actually doing is taking that and oops, I hit the wrong button, dividing it by 12. Folks, it's 2% a month. 2% a
2%
month.
a month.
That's what we're talking about. 2.0825 a month. Listen, that looks way better than 24.99. You're not getting charged 24% a month. You're only getting charged 2.0825% a month on 25% interest. So don't let it scare you. You can manage 2% a month if you know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
All right. Excellent. So, do you have any other questions about the interest on these loans and how to take care of it? Let us know when you have that link ready.
I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to let you know when it's live.
Okay.
But I created that.
All right. All right. So we've got some other people coming in. Listen, raise your hands, come to the stage if you want to ask a question. So we have Anthony on, and we've got C on. Anthony, do you have a question for us this morning?
I love questions. Come on with it.
All right. So I have the link, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to post it. All right.
I'll let you know when it's live.
You'll let me know when it's live? Okay. Let me know when it's live and I'll post it.
Yeah. Oh, you can post it now because it's going to be forever that.
Okay.
But I'll let you know when it's live.
All right. So it's not, I'll listen. I'll post it when it's live.
Okay.
All right. Because all people are going to say, I tried and didn't work.
That's true.
All right. So we got Anthony, we got C. I've got people here on Clubhouse. Anybody that's on stage now, do you have a question or a comment? All right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Ken.
I got a question for Rose.
Okay, go ahead.
Where's our favorite friend Queen at? When you did that last, me a queen.
Oh, she's been super busy. You know, she's an international real estate investor. She invests in Kenya. So she's back and forth from Kenya and the US, you know, helping real estate or aspiring real estate investor to invest abroad. So yeah, she's been super busy. But she's still around, still my friend.
All right. Anybody else got any other questions? All right. And if you're online, okay, Ken, I've got you here. We're going to be posting that link for you so you can see where you are as soon as it's live. Anybody else got any question either online or in Clubhouse? Okay. So let me go ahead so Ken, remember, I'm going to put it here, but it's not live yet. She's going to tell us when it's live, but here it is. You have it now. All right, there it is. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. It should have gone out to LinkedIn as well. That is what you need. The P.I.L.L method.thefundingbar.com. All right, there you go. All right. And she's going to let us know when it's live. So let me bring your screen back up, Credit Goddess, and
Yes.
then take us through. Is there anything else we need to know about the process by using this link to get our information on how to get a new business funded? Can you take us through that process?
Yes. Do you want me to take them through the questionnaire? Because I can go through the questionnaire.
Oh, I listen. I
And
think
this
people
was
would look. Listen,
this was
I think the more transparent the process is, because
I
see,
agree.
people when they even come to me, they watch my videos online, okay, and they
Yes.
think that how to get rid of interest is a very simple thing to do. It's not simple. We just simplified the process. It is not simple by any stretch of the imagination. This
Right.
is getting the funding is not simple.
Mm-hmm.
Credit Goddess is just RoseAllure has just simplified the process for you. We're being very transparent about what it takes and maybe how long it takes to get the funding. It is those people out there that says, I can get this for you tomorrow. You don't need all of this. And that's when they start taking advantage of people who seem to be desperate and they want to get it done and they want to get it done now. They spend money up front to get it done now, and then they don't hear from the people. And that
Ooh,
makes it
it
very hard.
happens.
That makes it very hard for honest people like Rose. So when you finally find her, then you come with all of your questions, you come with all of your baggage, and you take her through the mill with 10,000 questions
Woo, wait.
because you got hurt before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is legitimate, or I wouldn't have it on this stage. I would not have it on my program. We're taking you through the entire process. She's going to take you through the questionnaire now. Thank you so much for this, Credit Guys. We
You're
do appreciate
welcome.
you.
You're welcome. Okay, so this is what the link would look like once it's live, and once I get it live for
Okay.
Don, this is what it would look like. So as I mentioned, these are just pretty much the pre-qualifying questions that we ask. We don't ask for a lot. We can do a soft pull. You don't need to provide your social or anything like that if you're uncomfortable with that. But if you have, let's say, if you are a senior and you have a junior, definitely put your social, because if we're doing a soft pull, we're just going based on name, address, phone number. And with that name, address, phone number, if your son lives with you, we can I wouldn't say accidentally, but we can possibly pull your son's information. So you want to make sure that you put your social, so that way we're pulling the right information. And I'm saying this too, because this is the reason why you want to pull your credit once or twice a year, because this type of mistakes happen. And credit repair, what that is removing any erroneous, any inaccurate, or unverifiable information off of your credit report. Credit repair does not mean that if you have an account that you no longer want on there, that it can just come off. It has to be a reason. If it's unverifiable, inaccurate, or erroneously reported or incomplete, any of those four things, you have the right to remove an item off your credit. So you have to check your credit to make sure that your credibility is A1. You don't want people misinforming about you, putting misinformation about you on in these data reporting agencies. They're making money off of your information, so make sure that the information that they have about you is correct. So if you haven't looked at your credit, please do, and make sure that your information is correct. That's what credit repair is. Credit building is when you're establishing your credibility by participating in this credit game, which means tap into any financial institutions and tap into their product, whether it's a personal loan, auto loan, revolving credit, getting a mortgage. Any of those financial tools is what's establishing your credit. So I get people that ask me these questions all the time, like, what's the best credit card? My answer is the best credit card is based on your lifestyle. If you travel, look for a travel card that gives you rewards when you use the credit card. Or get a credit card. If you don't travel, then get a credit card that gives you cash rewards, right? I don't travel a lot. I'm a homebody. So I use those cash rewards. I cash it in around Christmas time and I pass it out to family.
Okay.
I don't like to shop. So I don't like to get out the house and go shop. So I just turn those into gift cards and give and pass them out to family. That's what I do. So they pay you for using credit.
Oh, okay. I
Let's look
like
at
it.
it like that. They pay you to,
Listen, all of
you
my
know,
clients do it. All my
yeah,
clients do it. They use their credit cards, and we show them how to get their points for free or next to free.
there we go.
And they're listen. I've been using a lot of my points lately. I
Uh-huh.
used to be a points millionaire until we started.
Ooh, what?
That means I had over 1 million points, ladies and gentlemen. So my wife and I, we fly first class all the time for free because we have the points.
See, there we
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
There we go. They pay you to use credit. So let's not, I don't want anyone to kind of have this negative connotation or, negative feeling about credit. Credit is a tool, right?
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I have a question that just came online. I'm putting it on the screen
let's
right
go.
now. Kenneth Brown says, so can one reach out to you with a 620 score to see how to get to 670?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Kind of look at that as your barometer of how
Mm-hmm.
healthy your credit profile, like how healthy your credit profile is. So the barometer, the fact that you're at a 620, yes, I do need to look at your credit profile. Yes, please do reach out to me so I can tell you how to get to a 670, a healthy credit score.
Okay.
There could be reasons why you're at a 620, and I need to know what those reasons are.
Right. And you may not even be at a 620, depending on where you got the score from.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's talk about that for just a second. Credit guys,
Uh-huh.
I know you're trying to go somewhere and I keep interrupting you,
No,
but
it's
this
fine.
is such good information because there's a FICO score and then there's a what kind of score that's no good.
You know what?
Come on.
Contrary to belief,
Yeah.
we do pull from Vantage.
Okay.
Now I'm going to explain why.
Okay.
Even though we
A
do,
Vantage score. Okay.
okay. Now the algorithms are different
Mm-hmm.
between the two. We do want to see a FICO score of a 670 or more, but the reason why we pull from FICO because we want to individually see the limits of each of the cards.
Right.
FICO doesn't separate them individually. It calculates all of your credit limit, all of your balances, and then divide it to know what the percentage is overall. But Vantage, they score you based on each individual utilization of each card.
Okay.
So now, if we trying to get you to maximum funding, you don't want to have scattered debt. Scattered debt meaning that let's say that you have 5 credit cards and all of your 5 credit cards have balances on it. You're limiting the factor, you're limiting the maximum funding that you can get. You do not want to show that you have scattered debt. What we would advise you to do is pay off 3 of the cards, and then we would say pay down the other 2 highest card down to 40%. And if that card is associated with like Chase, American Express, Bank of America, like any business banking product, if it's
Mm-hmm.
associated with that, we would say, hey, let's leave that at 40% because we want to actually see usage. We want to show them that you actually using the credit card so we can get you the maximum. It's so many different strategies behind that. A lot of people are so frustrated when they go for business credit and they don't get $75,000 on one card or $100,000 on one card. They wonder why. It's a strategy behind all of that.
So
So
credit goddess, is there for that link to be live, is there something you have to do or is it just we have to wait for a certain period of time?
something I have to do.
Okay.
I'm almost done. I'm gonna put your
All
because I had
right.
to create this.
Let's go ahead and while we're doing that, folks, I'm going to we're going to share something with you while she's doing that. All right. I am going to share something with you from let me see here. Okay, I'm going to share this because a powerful program to help you to understand what's going on with Pill Method. When Credit Guidance gets done, we're going to show you how you can level up your credit by using it efficiently. Here's something you need to watch. How many want to know how to pay off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years? You can do all of this without refinancing, without change to your budget, without sacrificing lifestyle.
Me and my husband do the P.I.L.L method, and last year we were able to pay down $33,000 on our mortgage without feeling like we were poor. We still did tons of entertaining things and enjoyed our family.
You don't have to eat beans and rice every day. You don't have to cut up your credit cards. You don't have to drive a 30-year-old car. You don't have to sell pizzas at night to pay off your mortgage. All you need to do is pay the bank less interest. That's what we're talking about today. Here is what P.I.L.L method stands for: prepayment of principal, isolation of principal amounts, leverage, and liquidity. You understand it? You have a way of getting out of debt more efficiently. The interest rate you're quoted is not the interest rate you pay. You think you're buying a $500,000 home. The true cost of that home is what? $758,000. Total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 51.777%. That's what's going on with this loan. The ability to read and defeat an amortization schedule is not taught at any level of financial education. I need you to understand the power of a penny. You will not hear what I'm talking about from Dave Ramsey. Do you know why? Because I own the copyright. I literally wrote the book.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what you want to do is, if you are interested in how to handle your debt, whether it's whether it's business, whether it's personal, it doesn't matter. Whether it's a mortgage or car loan or student loans, you don't have to pay all of that interest. Go to ice10k.com, ICE, the number 10, the letter K.com, ice10k.com, and click on that button that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Learn how to pay that debt back at a fraction of the cost. You see, to manage debt, you need to manage your interest cost, not the interest rate. And so once you learn how all of this works, you can actually see that you can manipulate and save more money at the higher interest rates than the lower ones. You want to check in with us to see how all of that works. Okay, I just got the message, folks. That link is now live. And so, Credit Guys, we're bringing you back. All right. All right. So listen, folks want to know. They want to know how we can take them through that process and what's going on here. Listen, people are excited. And I got Kenneth Brown. Kenneth Brown is saying, I have 8 people listening on his phone. He's on loudspeaker.
Hey, 8 people, what's up? Hey, y'all, that is awesome. 8 people. That's great. Glad you guys are listening.
All right, so you're taking us through the process. I'm going to put that back on the screen, and you're taking us through the questionnaire now.
Yes, I'm taking you guys through the questionnaire. Okay, so the questions are very simple. We don't need too much. As I mentioned, it's not a long, drawn-out application as if you were going for a loan, okay? Mm-hmm. We are leveraging your personal credit to get you the funding that you need to get your business started, get it expanded, take care of your marketing, take care of payroll, inventory, whatever it is that you need. Now, I know I didn't mention this and kind of bring it all full circle, but we did talk about what business credit is, and that's just showing your business's financial reputation. That's what business credit is. Business funding is the funding that you need, capital that you need to grow and scale your business. And what I'm showing you guys here is the syndicated line of credit. where you can go to multiple financial institutions and they will invest in your business. And what you will get as a tool is the business credit cards. Okay. Business credit card is one tool. Now, if you want to tap into business lines of credit, business lines of credit, this is where they need to see revenue, right?
So we're going to stop. We're going to put a pin in that right there, credit guys, because Paula has a question for us on from Clubhouse. Paula from Clubhouse, what's your question, please?
Hi, this is such wonderful information. I just want to kind of get some guidance. I have like a 638 as of yesterday. I have a 638 on one bureau and a 745 on another. And I have no late payments in the last at least 5 years or more. But I'm over 70% utilization on 2 personal cards. And I have about 9 to 10 credit cards, balances only on 5 of them. The other ones are paid to 0. So I wanted to know, what does my situation look like? I have business credit cards also. I have business credit cards, 70,000 in business credit cards that I only have a balance on 1, and that's about to be paid completely off. So I wanted to know if I want to start a business in assisted living, and I wanted to know, and I'm definitely interested in getting the funding. I have been offered $500,000 in funding before, but working with other people, I didn't end up using it. So I want to know, can I talk to you, or where I am, where you think I am with getting my score right, or whether the score is inaccurate in FICO or what? How do I move forward, or how can I move forward?
Oh boy, I'm loving this.
It's a loaded question.
Okay.
Because one, I want to know why that 638 is on one of your bureaus. I want to know what's going on over there, because your scores should not be no more than 5 points apart from each other on all 3 reporting agency. So that means that there is something reporting or either missing on the credit report with the 638. I'm not sure what it is. I need to see what it is. Because if you have 7 something on one, but 638 on the other, they're not, something is reporting inaccurately, or you may be missing something over there.
Okay.
Yeah. So I need to know what that is. And then 2, I want to know what type of funding that you're looking for, because if you have business credit cards, I want to know what your next level or what your next step is. I'm not sure if the business credit card is with the assisted living business that you have, or if it's with another business. Is it with the other business, or is it with the assisted living business that you have?
I don't have the assisted.
Okay, while she's answering, hold on. While she's answering that question, credit guys, would you for on Clubhouse, if you hit those 3 dots at the top of the screen there on your phone for Clubhouse, you can change it over to music, and then you can turn it all the way down, because we're hearing it.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, when you put it on music, you can turn it down to you can't hear it at all.
Is that better?
Yep, it's way better.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. All right. So go ahead with your question, ma'am.
Okay, so I don't have the assisted living business. That's my desire.
Okay.
My business credit has to do with being a real estate investor. And I've had the 70,000 for about 2 years now in credit cards. So my desire is to start in the assisted living business. And that's why I would like additional funding. And I'm doing my research now, but I don't want to mess up my personal credit, because I know I need that to get business credit. And somebody told me to do a debt program, a debt relief program.
A debt consolidation program?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes.
You need to talk to Don. You need to talk to Don.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because most of those programs do this. They ruin your credit so that they can negotiate paying off.
Yes.
You do not, I mean, run from that. Don't
Please.
ever do that.
Please.
Okay.
Listen, and I'm gonna go in depth, a little bit in depth of what he mentioned, because if you currently have these accounts active with the creditors and you're asking for them to settle, they're not going to settle. They're not going to settle for less than what you owe. You owe what you owe plus the interest, right? So if you want to pay less than what you owe, and a lot of times when you have these companies that tell you to do the debt consolidation, they for whatever reason they omit that you have to go behind on your credit cards. They'll tell you to stop paying on it because I'm not sure what they're saying is, but they will tell you to stop paying on it, pay us, so we can negotiate.
And you think they're making the payments on your card when they're not.
When
they're not doing that.
They're not doing it.
No, don't.
Okay.
Stay away from that. Okay.
And all that work that you've done in maintaining it. I know that you have high balances, but maintaining the credibility for so many years is like starting all over again.
Yes, ma'am. And it's been hard. I pay my everything on time. Everything.
Yeah.
All right. So go to you want to go to either ice10k.com or to my website, pillmethod.com, and fill out that information on getting a savings report. It's free. Okay. And we can give you some advice there on how to pay that debt off. And then Credit Goddess can help you to, while we're doing that at the same time, can help you to be in shape to get the funding.
Right.
Because one may not prevent you from doing the other. We can be paying down the debt, but if she sees a way through, you can get funding now. Where would you rather be? I just want to take care of this and then get funding. What if you could do both at the same time?
Exactly.
Okay. And you wouldn't know that unless you were here in this room, ladies and gentlemen. You have to do not disqualify yourself is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you're in the audience and you're listening to this, if you're listening to us live or listening to the replay, don't disqualify yourself. Get professional help. People see my stuff all the time and they think of this one way. Listen, if you think we give you just enough information here to let you know it works, this is not everything you need to know. Okay. People take what we're showing here because we don't have a lot of time to go really in depth. But you can't take what we're telling you here and then go run with it and think it's going to get you to where you want to go. Right. We're giving you just enough information to get yourself in trouble. So we're giving you information to let you know that there's something here, that it does work. Come and talk to us and we'll take you the rest of the way, because there's certain things that apply only to you and it doesn't apply to the rest of us. Right. So she can help you in the lane you're in. We're giving you broad, general information where you are in a narrow lane that may be able to get help now. So make sure you reach out to me. Make sure you reach out to Credit Goddess with that link. Get your funding and also take care of your credit. Miss Paula, I hope that helps.
It did 100% because I was on the verge. I feel like I'm at my limit as far as all this money I'm paying out every month. I know it's my fault. I don't blame anybody else. But I'm paying out so much. It's like $1,500 a month going out for debt cards.
Yeah.
And when they told me, oh, you can end up paying like only $900 a month.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. So I saw a way to save money while that $900 was being paid out. I almost did it. So I'm so glad.
Miss Paula, let me ask you a question. Okay.
Yes.
Because I get a lot of people calling me. And what they've heard is do not pay the minimums on your debt. Pay more than the minimum.
Definitely.
Okay.
That's me.
So you're paying more than the minimum?
All the time.
Okay, now let me ask you. Let me ask you something. Are you paying more than the minimum on more than one debt?
Oh, yeah.
Stop it.
Okay.
I mean, listen, there's no equivocation there. Stop it right now. If you're going to pay more than the minimum, pay more than the minimum on one and pay the
Okay.
minimums on the rest.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's leaving you with no cash.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you need to call me yesterday. In fact, let me give you my number and tell the folks that answer the phone that you want to leave a message for me. My number is area code 256 886 1867, because we are getting, see, I want to tell you right now, because you said something that really bothers me. You said that I know it's my fault. No. The way that this credit game is designed, you are following the rules that are out there because the powers that be want you to have certain information on how to manage debt. And all the information out there is wrong. If you already know it, get rid of it. Learn how to use debt the right way, how to understand what they're doing so that you can play the game. Right now, you're playing a game you don't have the rules to.
Mm-hmm.
And they're giving you the rules they want you to know, which are designed to do two things. They're designed to keep you in debt forever and pay, number one, and two, pay maximum amount of interest while you're doing it.
Okay.
While they're giving you instruction and you believe you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing and it's not getting you anywhere. I'm telling you, that's frustrating.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not your fault. It is a game that's been played since 1936. We have not been told how amortization works. The first self-amortizing loan was in 1936 and it was put there to benefit banking and investors. And when investors get into the game, they don't want you to know how to reduce their income.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to tell you how to do it. Okay. So you need to fill out that information, get a hold of us, and stop paying minimums. Stop paying more than the minimum on more than one card. Gang up on one, even if it's the wrong one. Okay. But don't spread yourself so thin. Does that make sense to you?
It does.
Okay.
It does.
Because if you can gang up on one, how quickly can you get that one paid off?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you can concentrate on the next one. By spreading yourself so thin, you'll never get done. And that's what they want.
Yes.
Okay. Call me today. Get that information filled out today. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else? Do you have any other questions?
No, that's it. You answered my question.
I am so glad you came to the show today. Credit Goddess, do you have anything else to add?
No, nothing else to add. You got that.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what? To answer her question though,
Yeah.
she can get funding for her assistant living.
Yes.
Although, yes. Oh, and let me say this. If you have multiple LLCs and you have good personal credit, you can actually get funding for all of your LLCs.
More than one business?
More than one business. Yep.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
More than one business.
That is a gem.
It is a gem.
You know why? You know how I know?
Mm.
Because I've done it.
Oh, you done it. See?
All in the
Listen.
same day. All in the same day.
All in the same day. Listen.
Yeah. From two different sources, I submitted information on two different businesses and got business credit cards for two different businesses, several of them in one day.
In one day.
Yep.
Multiple credit cards.
Yep.
To multiple businesses all in the same day.
Yep.
Because I want to use this analogy. Your business is your child. We all say this, like our business is our baby. That's our first baby. That's our firstborn or our secondborn, whatever. That's our child, right? And just like an 18-year-old that just became an adult and they want to get their own apartment, they want to get their own credit card, they want to get their own job, they want to make their own money. It's the same concept with this business. The business want to make its own money. It wants to have its own credit. So if that business or that child that doesn't have any credit, no income just yet, or no strong financial profile, who has to co-sign? That child has to get a co-signer. So that's what PG stands for. That's basically what it is. You're co-signing for your business. So even if you have multiple businesses, you have multiple children. So you can co-sign for your children. You can co-sign for your business. You can PG for your business. Now, when people say, I don't want a PG, I look at this as an indication that you just don't want to be liable if anything fails. So why not turn it around and be more confident in what you're getting into? And I say this: stop chasing the money. Look at the problem that you're looking to solve. This is a community effort. You are bringing in services to the community and you're helping people. So if there is an issue in your community, what problem are you solving? And you're going to get paid for it. That's it. That's the bottom line. If you chase the money, then there's a disconnect between you and the customer, because you're focusing so much on getting paid instead of solving the customer's problem. And this is where the disconnect becomes, and where people don't have the full confidence in their business, because they're not thinking about the people, they're thinking about the money. And that's a disconnect. So if we just realign with the mission and the vision and the goal, and that is people, the people is the one that has the money in hand that you're assisting. So let's refocus where we're putting our energy on and focus more on the people instead of focusing more on the money. And your whole thought process would change. The confidence in your business and starting that business will change as well. So I just want to leave that with anybody that's listening.
Good. I've got a couple of more questions for you here. Fernando wants to know, is it a good idea to use Magnum by Credit Strong to help build your business credit? I'm not familiar. Is it a good idea to use Magnum by Credit Strong to help build your business credit?
Well, any product, I get this question all the time where they say, is it better to do this? Is it better to do that? Listen, let's strip away what's better and what's not. You need data. You need data. So whatever data, wherever you're getting that data from and is reporting positively, that's what you need. So if it's a credit builder product to help you build credit, because here's the thing with business owners, when they're establishing business credit, they don't know where to spend the money. They don't know where to spend the money. And these are things that you guys have to write down on what you need for your business. Yes, some businesses have no overheads and no need to spend. You know, it is either service-based, but if it's product-based, of course you need the products, right? But if it's service-based, you may just need paper and ink and a phone, right? I get it.
Yep.
Right, I get it. If everything is online, I get it. But if you do decide to get where your products, your services, you need to ask that particular vendor, that particular financial institution, that particular business owner, do you report my payment experiences? Now, here's the thing. Stop paying everything with cash, because cash does not document anything. It does not report to your business credit profile because you paid everything cash. Let's look at it from the personal side. If you pay everything cash, if you pay everything with your debit, it does not report to your credit report, right? So what you need to report is the payment experiences. So what that means is that you either get a credit tool, invoicing works. Those net 30s are considered net invoicing. Net 30 meaning that you have 30 days to pay that invoice. But you want to ask that vendor or that institution, do you report my payment experiences to any of the credit reporting agency? If they do, this is how you establish credibility. Because
Mm.
what they want to see is, was anything extended to you without exchanging any money? And when did you pay it? Did you pay it
Okay.
on time? Did you pay it early or did you pay it late? That's all they want to see. So if you're going to use a credit builder product like Magnum, they're going to report whatever arrangements that you guys have. So it's like if the arrangement is to pay $500 a month towards this credit builder product, and we're going to report to these credit reporting agency, yes, you want that.
Okay.
You want that.
So Kenneth Brown has a question here. I'm gonna put it on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He says, Rose, I guess he has a client I can't serve to do credit. How can I funnel them to you without losing them to you?
Rephrase that question.
Okay. I think he was saying he's in some sort of business.
Uh-huh.
But he can't help his client. Okay. And he wants to see if you can help them, but he wants to collaborate, and he doesn't want you to take his client away from him.
Oh, okay. Yes, we can collaborate. Yes, I'm accepting
Can you hear me, Don?
referral partners. Listen,
You say what? You say what, Ken?
No, I was asking, can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, because like in the past, like I do the funding as well, but some of my people, once we got to it, they ran into a couple credit hiccups.
Right.
And I sent them to a few other people,
Mm-hmm.
and they fixed their credit, but they also gave them the funding that they needed. So I lost it all the way around.
Ah, okay.
Oh no, you don't have to worry about that. And I will make you a referral partner on both ends. So that way you're getting paid on both ends. How about that?
Right. And because also it's some of the funding that I don't do that I can also funnel. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
And I think I spoke with you about this with Jerry before, and we didn't get the ball rolling when we was doing the 7-round adventure. So
Okay.
All right.
Okay, well, send me your number. We'll connect.
Will do.
Okay. Can he use that link? He can use that link to reach out to you, right?
Not that link. That's your link.
Okay. How does he reach out to you? How does he reach out to you?
If he's on Clubhouse, he can message me.
Okay.
And I'll send my number.
And you
We're friends on IG. I'll hit you.
You're on IG. He can.
Okay. I'm on IG.
IG. Okay. Great.
My IG
Excellent.
is Your Credit Goddess.
There you go.
On IG.
Reach out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, keep asking your questions. We're here to help. Let me see if there are any other questions that we haven't touched yet.
I want to bring in
Go right ahead.
an idea to this is to business owners to kind of understand it.
Let me know if you need the screen.
No, I don't need the screen. No.
Okay, go ahead.
A little side note. So what Ken just did there is what us business owners need to do with each other. Like this is what Don and I do. And this is a form of marketing, right? So I would rather pay my referral partners than for me to put money towards ads, right? Because have you ever invested in ads, Don?
All the time. Oh, excuse me.
Ooh, I know.
Yes.
I already know. Listen.
Yes. Because when you put an ad out, even if it does work, you get fish in the net you can't eat. And you got to go through every single one to find out if it's a good fish or a bad fish.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a lot of money. If you guys actually see any of these top business gurus that are showing up on your, sponsor ads or showing up on your YouTube ads and things, they spend hundreds and thousands of dollars a month, hundreds and thousands to make 7 figures, 8 figures. I mean, it balances out. Okay. Yeah. So, but those marketing dollars, those marketing ad dollars, that can go to your pocket. Individuals like you guys, if you have people in close proximity, anyone in your network that you can bring and refer to other businesses that you like, know, and trust. This is, instead of us putting money into the ads, we can put money in your hands. That's what marketing is. That's
Right.
all. But this is what affiliate marketing is.
May I give you an example?
Yes, give an example.
Okay. So I got a phone call from somebody who I've been, I've been watching on YouTube, and they have over 370,000 followers on YouTube. I mean, real ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They reached out to me and says, I like what you're doing. I want to funnel some people to you. So we're collaborating on it. I did a webinar even last night for this person, and we're getting leads already. And when we make a sale, that person who is leveraging their following,
Mm-hmm.
we have an affiliate agreement.
Mm-hmm.
They get paid for sending me leads. Now, here's the thing. I don't have to do any convincing.
Exactly.
They already love this person.
Right.
All right. And if they love this person, then they say, you need to do business with Don.
Yes.
It's like a slam dunk.
That's it.
Okay. And then they get paid. That is affiliate marketing for you, hands down. I'm telling you.
I love it.
And I don't have to pay until the sale is made.
Right.
As opposed to paying for ads and hoping and praying that the phone rings.
So true. I would do affiliate marketing, referral partnerships all day. And let me put this in concept when it comes to credibility. That's what AU is, an authorized user is. Because that particular person that has the relationship with Chase add you on to their card as an authorized user, you have one foot in the door. That's credibility. Let's use another one. Let's say that you work at a job and they're looking for someone to hire. And instead of pulling someone from the ad, they took in your referral. You referred a friend, you referred a family member, and off of your trust, off of your recommendation, that person gets hired because that was based on your credibility. Because you're a good employee, then they would trust your recommendation, because you're not just going to bring anybody to the job, you know, especially if it's a good paying job. Because if they don't do well in their job, that makes you look bad. So you're going to make sure that you're going to bring someone in that fits the bill and represents you, right? So this is what credibility is. And if we take that seriously, it helps us in all aspects of our life when we're talking about building a network, building a community of people that trust you and you trust them. You know,
right.
We need to get back to that.
We have affiliates, okay? And in our affiliate program, you can make anywhere from $300 to $3,000 a month with no sales. All you do is, if somebody is, if you know that somebody is tired of what they're doing, they want to get out from under that mortgage or student loans or whatever it is, you can send them over to our YouTube channel. They can watch some of our videos. You follow up with them within 48 hours. Oh boy, let me tell you, follow up within 48 hours. When somebody expresses interest in something and you follow up after 48 hours, the interest goes way down. Okay. Follow up within 48 hours. And then if they want more information, then send them to us. You can go to ice10k.com, scroll down and hit that button, refer a friend, fill it out, send it in to us. We'll be glad to help you. And there's going to be information in there that will tie that particular person to you. And then you can get paid when they become a client. All right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Now, can I take it back to the beginning of the show?
What's that?
To wrap it up, to take it back to the beginning of the show, when Rose was saying about generational wealth and getting everybody together around you, that's kind of my aim. And if you look at it, you get your credit and you get what you need, you get your funding, and this is just my people. And then we go to Don to save money on the money that we about to spend, and there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, full circle. The full circle, because I'm telling you, as good as on Fridays, as good as Los is and getting the credit, he ain't telling you how to pay it back. Not. He's not an expert there. I am. Okay. We're the experts. So if you get the credit, let's get it paid back. And you want to pay it back with as little interest as possible. It's not about paying it back fast, ladies and gentlemen. It's about paying it back cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You want to lower your interest cost to the dirt. And then that means more of your money actually goes to where it's supposed to go to, paying back the debt, not to interest. We'll show you how to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay? Absolutely.
Yep. So we can go back to my screen.
Okay.
We can finish out what the form looks like.
All right.
So all we're looking for is just your name, address, email address, phone number, date of birth. Social, as you can see, is not a requirement, but if you have a name that's close in the spelling of anyone in your household, you definitely want to put your social there, so that way we're not pulling, the wrong person. Home address. Now, I want you guys to focus on this question here. This is a very important question. Oh, well, let me go all the way down here.
Okay.
How long was the EIN created for your LLC? Okay. If it was less than a year, it's fine. If it's less than a year, we like to give projections, and the projections, or I would say projections, a soft quote, a soft prequal. And a soft prequal means that we don't like to overpromise and underdeliver, but based on your profile and what your profile looked like, and based on how you answer this question here, we're going to give you an approximate amount that we can get you just by looking at your profile, just by doing a soft pull. Okay. And if you answered that it was less than a year, usually it would be like between $20,000 to $50,000 difference than if you were to say that your business is over 2 years old. That's the difference. This is the reason why we want you to answer this question, so that way we can give you a projected amount of what we can qualify you for. Now, if you say that I don't have an EIN, then you won't get business credit cards, because business credit cards are for EINs, or for, I would say, businesses. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't get you funding. We'll just have to get you some personal funding, right? Personal credit, personal loans. We can get you just the same amount. You just won't be able to get the business credit cards. Now, then when I said the stated income, you state your annual income. This is individual income, not household income. When I get on a call with you, because I will be doing a compliance call where I ask you what are your use of funds going to be, what's your story, and then what's your experience. I need to know those things. And I also need to know your personal asset, because that also increases your chances of getting more funding if you have assets, like a 401k, if you have life insurance, if you have a money market, if you have money in your savings and your checking. I need you guys to be honest, because those stated information would get you maximum funding. We're not going to ask for proof of any of those things. You just need to tell us, right? And especially when I ask you what your use of funds are going to be and whatever industry that you're in. Some banks have an appetite for certain industries. Like, they love the assisted living facility. Those are the ones that get $100,000 from Chase, right? If P.I.L.L is still there. They love that. They love the medical route. They love anything in the medical industry. If you're in the medical industry, okay.
I am here. Thank you.
If you're in the medical industry, they love to extend $75,000-$100,000 to those industries. But that also going to depend on the strength of your credit profile as well. Okay. And then also your stated income, because I'm going to ask you about your personal annual income, and I'm going to ask you about your household income, and I'm going to ask for your projection. I'm going to ask for all of those things, because guess what? We have relationship partners. Relationship managers that we have access to, meaning that we have relationship managers on each of the institutions that will get you, that we would send your application to. We would package all the information that I would ask from you during a call, and I will send that package over to my relationship manager. and they're the ones that make the approval of how much to lend to you, especially when you make it clear on how you're going to use those funds. You can't just say, I just need money for my business. This is where you really have to break it down and tell me exactly how you're going to use those funds. Do you need funding for equipment? Like, do you need computers? Do you need iPads? Do you need a truck? You need to put money towards marketing. You really need to break that down to me, because once that is broken down, I will package that up and send that over to my relationship manager. This is how we get you up to 250K or even more. I'm just saying 250K on max. But if you really know what you're doing, you have revenue coming in your business, you can have up to $1 million without showing too much of documentation. So that's basically this. And this is all soft inquiry. You don't have to worry about any hard pulls or anything like that. But if you want to know what your credit profile what your credit profile is worth, definitely fill out this information and I can get that information over to you.
Wow.
So,
just like that.
Just like that.
Excuse me.
Yes.
When you say we need to know what we need as far as equipment and marketing or truck or whatever, is that where we also mention employees?
Yes, you can also mention that as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To cover payroll. Yeah, you can mention that to cover payroll.
Yes.
Like if you say something like, okay, so I'm looking to start an assistant living facility, and you mention stats, like they love stats. If you can tell them like what is the issue in the industry that you're getting into and how it would help your community, how many people are homeless right now, or how many people are displaced, and how this housing or this living facility is going to help, and what the success rate, or even give projections of what the issue is going to be 10 years from now. If you provide that type of information, so an investor, because we're not just talking about the bank is an investor too. They're investing in your business. If you give them a clear understanding as to why you need the funds and what the issue is, they will fund your business. They will fund your business. So you don't want to be bland about what you're going to need the funds for, because if they have no idea, then they have no idea what you actually need, and that's why they will start you off with very low limits. And then we would just have to go based on how you spend to determine, okay, so Paula needs a little bit more because she's spending, but then she's also showing her ability to pay back. Let's go ahead and extend it, because you can also increase your limit later on based on how you're spending, because they will automatically increase it for you, or you can ask for an increase. But if you need the maximum funding right now, it's very important to know exactly how you're going to use those funds and the need for it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good question.
Any other questions? Come on now. Here's your opportunity. Ask the questions now. Come up to the stage. Put it online. Put it in the chat on Clubhouse. Put it in, if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, you can put it in the chat. If you are following us on LinkedIn, I can't see it. So you got to go to either Facebook or YouTube to put it in the comment section so we can see it. Okay. All righty. Any other questions?
Yes, this is Paula again.
Go ahead, Paula.
So do any of you know anyone in that field, in the field of assisted living, who can maybe help with business coaching?
I may know someone.
Wonderful.
Yes. If you reach out to me on my Instagram, Your Credit Goddess.
Okay.
YOUR Credit Goddess, GODDESS. Send me a message there and I'll send you her link.
Okay.
I actually know about 2 people that are actually running an assistant living successfully.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this has been good. This has been excellent information. Such an opportunity. I didn't know until I talked to you, I didn't know that there was easy funding for new businesses, and you're taking us through the entire process. It doesn't seem overwhelming, and you're going to help us to complete the paperwork. Oh my gosh, I love it. I
Yes.
absolutely love it.
Guess what? I want to show
What?
some proof. Can I show some proof
Listen, I'm going to put it
of
on the
some
screen.
limits?
I'm going to put it on the screen. You just let me know when to put it on there.
All right, let me pull it up.
I will put it on the
Let me pull
screen.
it up. Do-do-do-do. This I was gonna put on. Okay.
You
So
ready?
yeah, you can yep.
There we go. All right, let me make this even bigger.
Okay.
We're gonna zoom in on that. Okay, so that looks like $100,000.
$100,000. This was earlier this year.
Uh-huh.
This was a Chase Inc. And this was someone that had an assisted living facility.
Okay.
And Chase Inc. approved them for $100,000. And now, mind you, this is just 1 out of 5 or 6 or 7 business credit cards we can get you at one time.
Wait. This is not several business. This is not several credit cards. This is only one.
No, this is one.
Ouch. All right.
0% interest for 12 months.
Okay.
0% interest. And this was funded January 15th of this year.
Paula says she has Chase Inc. now.
Oh, you have Chase Inc. now? Yes.
But but if you have a different LLC, can you go back to Chase Inc.?
Yes, you can.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can. All right, I'm gonna go to the next one. This one, this was last year. This was $75,000 with Chase Inc. Chase Inc. loves working with us. But we got. Oh, did you see the interest rate? But it says, but this is a cash advance. Now, here's the thing, you guys. Now I'm a managing partner at P.I.L.L Funding. That's I started off as a referral partner with P.I.L.L Funding for almost 5 years ago. And I've sent them so much business that they asked me to not one manage referral partners. So if any of you guys have a huge network, if you guys have people, that needs funding, if you're a business consultant or anything like that, you guys can definitely tap in with me and I'll get you set up. This is just an additional stream of income. I believe in having an additional stream of income. So if this is something that you guys want to do, you can definitely tap in with me. But they asked me to become not only the coach for referral partners, but then they also asked me to become a managing partner. So I'm up there with the CEOs. So they love working with us because of the fact that we're very transparent. Like, Don say, it's very hard to find people that are very transparent with what they do. And I'm transparent with education. I speak truth, right? If there's something that I don't know about, then I'm going to ask questions, but I refuse to steer people into the wrong direction. So when you're paying for services, you're paying for that. You're paying for the trust. You're paying for the confidence. You're paying for advocacy, right? Because like I said, when we get on these calls and I ask you what you're going to use these funds for, it's only so that I can package it and make you look so good that they're willing to invest more than if you were to get it yourself, right? Now, I know most people say, well, I don't need all of that. Well, I always say it's better to have it than not need it, and to need it and not have it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
One of the worst things you can do is get funded, and then find out that you asked for too little.
Yes.
That's one of the worst things you can, because now you can't go back to the well.
No, you can't go back to the well.
Okay.
Now you have to prove you need a little bit more when you could have gotten it all at one time. Yes. So that's 75,000 there. Then I have another 75,000. This was earlier this year as well. January 20th, 75K with Chase. And then this is actually a business line of credit. Now, here's the rule of thumb. Here's the formula for business lines of credit. You remember I mentioned that to get a business line of credit, which is a totally separate product of a business credit card. Business line of credit, the formula to that is they give you 10% of your revenue. So if you're looking for $100,000 in business line of credit, you need to be making gross revenue of $1 million. Okay. That's the rule of thumb. If you make $500,000, then they're going to give you 10% of that. That's like the working capital. Or they may give you a little bit more, depending on if they see a little bit more information like bank transactions, what do you call it? Tax paperwork and things like that. You know how many bankers send people over to me because they can't qualify their clients for business lines of credit, even though they're making so much money in their business? Yeah, that they're either missing tax paperwork or they're not properly structured. And one banker told me that he denies over 85% of applicants for business lines of credit. And they don't know where else to send the clients to, which is why I partner with banks, to get them the alternative funding. And this is an alternative funding, you guys. This is the alternative funding. If you go straight to the bank, they have 1, 2, maybe 3 products that they can extend to you. But if you don't meet the requirement, I want you guys to know that it's not the end of the world. You need to find people like myself. You need to find someone like Ken as well. We are alternative, or I would say non-traditional lending. This is non-traditional lending. This is alternative lending. I would say creative lending. So if the banks deny you, if the banks say no, we say yes. Okay.
All right. So now the other thing you need to think about is the interest rates are generally going to be slightly higher, but don't worry about that.
Yes.
Because we do calculations and we call that the effective interest rate. So by the time we've calculated how much interest you will actually pay, and we can predict that, how much interest you will actually pay, then your effective interest rate could be around 1 to 2%. Based on the amount of interest you will actually pay, not the interest that they want you to pay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So don't worry about interest rate. We can manipulate that. We can get your interest costs down so far that they would have had to have given you an interest rate of around 2% to match what we're going to do for you.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay?
Oh,
So,
you know what? Let me add to what you said about the interest rate.
Yeah.
If it's unsecured, a lot of times people want, business credit, a business line of credit, they want funding and they don't want to personally guarantee. Do you know that the interest rate will be much higher if you don't provide any personal guarantee, any documentations, anything like that on an unsecured?
Okay.
Secured is when you secure it with some type of asset, and you are an asset. You as a person, you as a character is an asset. So if you PG it, then your interest rate is lower than if you don't PG it.
Right.
If you're not PGing it, and if you don't provide any documentations, your interest rate is a little higher. So if you provide documentation, if you PG it, your interest rate is slightly lower, especially on a loan. Is slightly lower than if you don't PG it at all.
Wow.
That's you securing it and unsecuring it. So again, if you don't want to PG it, I get it. But if you believe in your business, if you believe in the work that you do, and you're confident in your business, you're confident that you're going to, produce into profit, then bet on yourself so the banks will bet on you.
All right, folks. And listen, and then what you can do is make sure that you learn how money works. You see, we just don't give you a program. We give you education on how all of this works and how it's been working since 1936, but it's not taught at any level of financial education anywhere, how a mortgage works, how these loans work, and how you can optimize interest savings. I've asked ChatGTP, I've asked Perplexity, I've asked Gronk. all the AIs. Is there any school anywhere that's teaching what the P.I.L.L method is teaching about how to optimize interest savings by moving the right amount of money in the right month on the right day of the month to the right loan, optimizing the amount of interest you can cancel per dollar? They said no school anywhere is teaching that.
No school.
No school.
No school.
And listen, if the schools aren't teaching it, there's a reason why how to minimize interest costs is not on the curriculum. There's a reason why. Because businesses depend on you. The banks depend on you. The central banks depend on you paying interest for your entire life. Because even though you can, what was that term you used so that they can get the loan? Dang it.
PG.
No, yeah. So your personal guarantee. Guess what else you are? Guess what else you are? A natural resource.
Yes.
You are a natural resource for the banks, meaning you turn your time into dollars. And then they siphon your dollars off. And you have no idea what your interest consumption is per month. The average family has 13 different debts. That's the average family. They're paying out 35 to 39% of their income in just the interest payments alone. Not the entire payment, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about if you just add up the interest portions, you're paying out 35 to 39%. And I'm talking about people who make a lot of money, who are doing well financially. They just have no idea what their interest consumption actually is per month. What if you can do well and cut your interest cost by 75%? Now you're doing even better. Learn the rules to the game. You are a natural resource that you're being mined. If you know anything about the movie The Matrix, they're turning people into batteries so that the electricity that is that your body produces, they were using that to power the machine city. But guess what the banks are doing? They're using you so that you can pay them interest for your entire lives. The bank's job is to rent money. They want to rent it for as much as they can, for as long as they can. And you are their supply of money. Our whole system is based on debt. But you can learn how to play the game so that you can think like a bank. And here's how a bank thinks.
Yes.
We want to borrow everybody's money. Then we want to invest other people's money. And then we want to pay the people who gave us the money as little for it as we possibly can. You can do the same thing. You can borrow the bank's money, make big benefit with that money, and pay them pennies on the dollar for the use of that money. You can do that. Okay? Dr. O is in the house. What? Dr. O, how are you doing?
I'm over here hearing Credit Goddess. I haven't seen or heard her for a while. Sounding like an alien with the T, and you're over here punching the banking system in the nose, man.
Oh.
This is amazing. But I actually really appreciate. I sent out to my group when you were able to go over my personal situation, because sometimes people, they don't get to see in real time what somebody's really, really going through, and you bring it out so well. And I love how you are on the spot teaching. I don't remember which president it was. I know Rockefeller had something to do with make sure the people are ignorant or uneducated or something like that, and don't give them these details right here that you're giving out here.
It was Rockefeller.
Rockefeller. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
It was Rockefeller.
And so, thank you. So to know that that's one of the most prominent names, I won't say families because I know they're prominent in families, but they're not the top of the top. There's some families we'll never know the name of. But the point is that you are showing us, Don, and Credit Goddess, and I'm sure Ken here as well, are showing us the things that we say we never get. Well, you guys are removing the excuse because you're giving it to us like right here, right now. And I shared it with my group. I pray they come in here and get these details. And thank you guys for everything you've consistently been doing for years. And Dawn, with you, with the contract that I was able to secure,
Yes.
I am applying the P.I.L.L method before they set everything up. And so when they take my payment, when they take my payments out monthly, they have to follow the P.I.L.L method, not Dr. O. They do.
Well,
They do.
well, listen, if you got that information from what I teach online, you only got 1/10 of what you need.
Yes, I know. I have to register and sign up and all that. I just want to tell you the 1/10 that you gave me was already applied.
Oh, come on now.
Listen, I don't listen and heed. I take action. I'm an actioner before I'm a millionaire. So I thank you for what you did for me. Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Well,
That's
folks,
awesome.
that is awesome, Dr. O.
Hey, Anthony Meadows. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Listen, folks, I got a couple other questions here. Credit Goddess, we have Fernando came back, says I already have one Chase Inc. card. Let me put that on the screen. I already have one Chase Inc. card with my LLC. Can I get more cards on the same LLC, or do I have to create another LLC? Ooh, I'm going to love this answer.
You can get more cards. You can get multiple cards, or I would say financial institutions under one LLC.
How about that?
And that's what we get you. That link at the top, if you're in the Clubhouse room, that link up at the top, we advocate to get you anywhere between 4 to 7 financial institutions to fund your business. That's the syndicated line of credit. That's what that means.
All right. I have a question for you before we get to the next one. Okay. When you do what you do, how many inquiries does that make?
Oh, good question.
Okay.
You know why we say that you don't want to have no more than 2 inquiries on each of the credit reporting agency? Because when we do go and seek 4 to 7, we pull 2 with Experian, 2 with Equifax, 2 with TransUnion. Ooh. So they all don't see from each other.
Oh, that is a that's a boss play.
Yeah. So you have to know which institution to go to and who pulls from where. And let me give you guys a gem. If you want to know where they pull from, freeze all of your credit reports, right? And go and attempt to get funding. And when they come back to you and say, I'm sorry, but we weren't able to pull your credit from TransUnion, then you know they pull from TransUnion.
Ah.
But Credit Goddess, I have a question. So you're talking about lending, funding, and I'm hearing from a banking perspective. But with mortgage, I know this is like a double question, but with mortgage, they're going to pull from all 3, correct?
Yes, they will. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome.
Wow. Listen, this is some excellent information, everybody. You listen, you can't get this everywhere. And how much did y'all pay to get in here? Oh, yes. Free 99.
Free 99.
Free 99.
Free 99. And let me add to what Dr. O said with the mortgage. They pull from all 3 because they want to know your medium score. And they will use your medium score as what's going to precede you in getting the funding for the mortgage.
Okay.
Right. But if we go for credit cards, credit card companies pull from 1, or sometimes they pull from all 3, depending on a financial institution, but they usually pull from 1 because that's who they have that relationship with to get the credit offers. If you guys are getting offers in the mail, it's because they do business with that particular credit reporting agency to say, hey, Chase can say, hey, Experian, can you give me a list of consumers with credit scores of above 680, 3 years of credit history, no collections, no bankruptcy, and send it on over. And I'm gonna give you guys a telltale sign what type of credit you have. Depends on who's recruiting you in that mailbox.
Ooh.
Okay. So it's a whole game out here. It's a credit game.
Oh yeah.
So you gotta get your stats up so you can be recruited by top banks. If you're not being recruited by top banks, and your mailbox will tell you where you are, credit worthiness, okay? If you get the Merrick Banks, if you get the Credit Ones and all the subprime cards, that means you have subprime credit. But once you start establishing credit and you're in the game and you have some stats, you've been consistent for 6 months, a year, 2 years, you're going to start seeing those offers change. The offers would change from subprime to then store cards, like gas cards. You'll start getting store cards and maybe some Chase, not the Chase. No, not Chase. I'm sorry, Capital One, not the Capital One Quicksilver, but you may get the Saver. You may get the Venture card. That means you made it to tier 2 credit. Now, once you start establishing credit even more, because you've been in the game long enough, and now you hit the requirements for the big banks to reach out to you, because now you have 3 years of consistent credit. Now you're going to start seeing offers from Chase, American Express, Citi, and all these big banks. That is how you know where you are as far as your credit. Now, if you already have a relationship with these banks, you're already in the door. You're already in their ecosystem. Now, depending on how you're maintaining that relationship, your banking status, because you do have a ranking in the bank, right? You do have a bank rating. If you have less than $10,000 in your bank account, then you have a low bank rating of 4. I would say from 3 to a high 4. So you want to have $10,000 in your bank account. That puts you at a low bank rating of 5 consistently, right? They want to see last 3 months of $10,000. They don't want to see insufficient funds. They don't want to see low balances, especially if you're trying to get a loan, right? Because they are going to use that in their decision on how much, or I would say your capacity of borrowing. If you don't show any type of proof, and there's no data, I say this on that data. On data. They love data. Data gives them enough information to make sound decisions. So if you don't have enough data, if you're not in the system, you don't have any enough paper trail, because I know a lot of people refuse to put money in the bank. They refuse to do certain things because they don't want the banks all up in their business. Okay, well, you're just going to limit the amount of funding that you're going to get, because there's nothing to show proof of. Because listen, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie.
Okay.
Men lie,
all right.
Women lie, but numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
Get your stats up. Get the stats up. Provide all the information that banks need so they can lend you the money with no problem.
All right, let's go over that one more time, folks. You need to take that link. Okay, take that link, and to get your new business funding. All right, I'm going to put it in there one more time. So get the link and do what you need to do to reach out today. If you already have money, you already have some credit, you already have a mortgage, you have business credit, and you want to pay it back a lot cheaper without giving the bank all that money and interest, then you want to go to what's crawling across the screen right now. Go to ice10k.com and get a free savings and earnings report, and you can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you can save. And if your goal is not to be debt free, if your goal is to say, how can I get equity faster so I can cash out refi and do more investing, we can help you there as well. When you work with us, you can cash out refi 10 to 15 years sooner working with us, not months, 10 to 15 years sooner, because you gain equity so fast and so cheap, it ain't even funny. Okay? Because, you just think about it. And I talked to some folks about this last night. I asked them a question. Based on my travels, I have seen cars that cost $200,000. Okay? I've seen them. But do you realize when you buy that car on time, you can't get a loan, you can't get funding for more than 84 months. You have to pay that car off within 84 months. That's 7 years. That's it. If you can pay off a $200,000 car in 7 years, why does it take 30 years to pay off a $200,000 mortgage? There's something going on there, folks. We're going to tell you what it is. We're going to teach you the rules to the game. All right? Dr. O is laughing. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. So let me see. I've got another. Let's see. Credit. Okay. Now, Credit Goddess.
Mhm.
Are you talking about you can help brick and mortar businesses, or
Of course.
okay, or is it only brick and mortar businesses, or people
No.
who may have a virtual office or something like that? Talk to us about the kind of address you need for your business, what works and which addresses don't work.
Okay, now if we're going this route where
Yeah.
we have to establish the business credit, because now this is on the business credit establishment, right? So when we're talking about structuring the syndicated line of credit, let me tell you, we don't care about none of that.
What?
Nope.
Are you kidding
Nope.
me?
Nope.
We
No.
don't care.
No, we don't
Lord
care
have
about none of
mercy.
that. None of that.
Oh, let me
None
put my
of that.
face on the screen so people can see my face. We don't care about none of that.
We don't care about none of that.
Okay.
We just want you to have a registered LLC and
Yes.
an EIN number
Yes.
and a driver's license. You don't need none of that.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen.
None of that.
Mm-mm-mm.
None of that.
I
Now,
love it. Yes.
Now, I say this. Now, this is leveraging off of your personal credit. Now, let's really back. You remember when I said that your business is a person, is your child,
Yeah.
right? So yes, we do need to establish and structure the business. We do need the business to have its own address, phone number, website, build the business with the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, just like you did as a person, Don Daniel. You have your own income, you have your own credit, you have your own home, we
Yes.
have your phone number, we have your website, you're your own person. So when you're establishing your business, you're doing the same thing. But because the business doesn't have all of that, this is why you PG it and why we say we don't need all that. We just need that child's birth certificate and social security card. That's it.
Come on.
Which is the registration and the EIN letter. That's it. Because
Wow.
you're going to get the funding. It's based on you, Don Daniel. You're going to get the funding for your business, which is why we use the personal credit to get the funding for your business that have not produced any type of revenue. So no, we don't need any of that.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I'm loving every single minute of this. So tell us from the start of the application process, Credit Goddess,
Yes.
what is the cycle? How long does it take from beginning to end if I
Good
have all of
question.
my ducks in a row?
Good question. So if you have all your ducks lined in a row, this is basically the process of a client from start to finish. So they fill out this information. I get a review within an hour or two, and we can hop on a call, or I can send a review in your email, right? Now, there's 3 statuses that you may see. You may see that you would get disqualified. And if you meet the credit score, but let's say you had too many inquiries, you may had an inquiry that may tie into a open account, or you may have more than one open account within the last 12 months. We would disqualify you, and we would say we would have to wait for those accounts to age out, and that usually we say after a year, to come back and revisit the opportunity. You don't want to have too much activity, because we're trying to get you 4 to 7 cars at a time. We're not just trying to qualify you for one. And this is what a lot of people are doing. They're qualifying for one here 1 month, and then they go and qualify for another one 6 months, 8 months down the line. If you want to do it that way, by all means, you can go that way. But if you're trying to get a maximum 250K, you're not going to get it from one credit card. You have to accrue multiple credit cards to that amount, which is why you don't want to have too many activities on your credit profile, right? So once you submit, we have a review for you. You either disqualified, and we'll tell you why in the comment section. If you qualify with conditions, meaning we may qualify you and say, hey, congratulations, Don. We are projecting that we can get you anywhere from $100,000 to $125,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
With these conditions, under one condition. And then we'll list the conditions, meaning if you have your utilization over 40%, we will tell you that you need to bring this card down from 15,000 to 8,000 to be under 40%. And or we need, and we'll list all the cards that you need to bring it down to 40%. And then we'll also mention like all the cards you need to zero out. So we'll give you instructions. So you're not lost, but we'll say, hey, you need to meet these conditions. And then we can go with the process of getting you anywhere from 100 to 125.
Wow.
That's
Listen,
if
folks.
that's
Go
if
ahead.
you answered the question that your business is over 2 years. Now let's say that it was under 2 years, then the amount will be slightly lower. It will be 75 to 100. It would just be like a $50,000 difference. So, but that's depending on how you do that. Now, once I talk over, or you say, you know what, I would love to move forward. There is a success fee that we charge on the back end. We don't charge you up front. We charge you on the back end. And you can use one of your business credit cards to pay that success fee. So you're not coming out of pocket. And again, is on a 0% interest, right? Once you do that, then I will hop on a call with you to do a compliance call. But before all that, I will ask you to sign the agreement. Of course, there's an agreement between us. We'll ask for documentations like your registered LLC, EIN letter, and a copy of your driver's license. Then I will get on a call with you. Once I complete that compliance call, then we go for funding. That can take anywhere from like 2 to 3 days, depending on how quick you submit what we need. And then approvals take no less than 24 hours. And then the cards come in the mail within 7 to 10 business days. So I would say 2 to 3 weeks, you'll get the funding.
Wow. 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you can get the approval from start to finish, from application to approval. How much time we're talking?
I would say 3 to 5 days.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, once you know, I mean, if you're stressful about anything, once you know you're approved, the stress starts to melt away, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And knowing that the card is in the mail. I have Miss Diana on stage. Did you have a question or comment, Miss Diana? If you have it, please go. If you walk, and usually I ask when people walk away from their phone. Go on, Miss Diana.
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning.
I guess my question is because I was looking to get some funding for my business.
Yeah.
I am in the assisted living space.
Oh, nice.
So I was looking for, thank you. I was actually looking for maybe more of a working capital. Is that something they can help with?
Yes, I can help with working capital. Mm-hmm. Do you have revenue in the business? Do you have revenue in the business?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes. Okay.
I have I did just purchase a home. I have 2 assisted living facilities. And
Nice.
I purchased a home. But I was trying to get working capital because I also purchased some land that I want to build a facility on.
Okay. Okay.
So
yeah.
I was looking to get some working capital for that.
Yes,
Wow.
you can definitely do that. Yes, absolutely. Definitely connect with me.
Miss Diana, did you see the link in the chat?
Oh, I clicked the top one. No.
All right, let me put it back. Let me put it back in there for you so it's easy to find, okay?
Okay.
And let me do that right now. And here it comes. You know, I use iPhone, I use Mac, I use iPad. You know, when you have all your Apple products, you can copy on one device and paste on another. I love that. So do you see the link now?
Yes, I see it.
There you go. That's what you do. That's how you get your funding.
Thank you. And then how much up to how much? Because I hear you saying 150, 250. I'm looking for like a $500,000. Would you be able to, are they going up to that much or?
Oh, you can go up to higher. Yeah. But it's not going to be with this type of funding. Working capital is a different product. Yeah. Okay, but you can still fill this out though. You can still fill that. So that way I can, if we hop on a call, I'm going to explain to you the different options you have available. Like say for instance, if you may not get the maximum that you're looking for, you always want to stack your funding options. You don't just want to go with one. You don't want to stick with one. Now, the reason why you don't want to stick with one, and I know some people are like, well, I don't need all of that. Here's the thing. Like I said, it's
Until
better
you
to
do.
have it. Right. There you go. I was going to say that. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. If you are in the best position to get every single funding product on the table, take it.
Yes.
Because there are ups and downs in your businesses, right? And then if you have to resort to your personal credit cards because you've maxed out your business credit cards because you didn't get enough, and then you tap into your personal credit card and then you max out your personal credit card because you had this huge payments that you need to make. Now your credit score tanked because 30% of your credit score is how much credit you have left. So if you max out that card, you're going to lose about 165 points. Now, Don would either have to tell you how to bring that balance down, and this is how long it's going to take. And if you don't have discretionary funds or have any funds to tap into because it's all tied up or is depleted, you're in a poor position to get more funding. They don't like to fund businesses that are in dire need.
That's right.
They don't. They're not going to risk it, because if you gotten yourself in that hole, they're going to feel as though that you're going to get the funds to get yourself out of the hole, but really you're supposed to use the funds to 10x. It's supposed to produce more income, not pay debts. So a lot of times we're in the wrong playing field when we look for more funding to pay off debt, when we should be looking for funding to grow the business and scale it, to make more money. Like we said, make more money, babies. We got to make more money, babies. You don't want to put yourself further in debt where you're now having to go look for twice the amount of funding to get out of debt again. So it's going to be a never ending cycle. Especially for businesses that are just starting up and haven't even produced any type of revenue. Living facility or assisted living, great business to get into because it's constant, income coming in. But other industries, I always say, listen, get as much funding as you can while you're in the best position to do so. So that way you're not needing it in the future.
Listen, folks. 2 months ago, you are in a great financial position. You got a great job, and you had opportunity to get a lot of funding. You said, I don't need a lot of funding. Okay. But your job was with the government, and you took less than what you could have had. And your job just got doged. And now you need to get the funding. Okay? Things change. And now you can't go back to the well because your situation has changed. If you got the funding when you had opportunity and then your job got doged, there's nothing they can do about it. They can't take it away. All right? So get it while you can, because when something happens and you really need it, it may not be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Get it while you can.
Don,
Yes.
can I ask a question?
Go right ahead.
Okay, this is Paula again.
Go ahead, Paula.
So when you say get all the funding that you can, when I got that $500,000 for a deal that I was going to be into, and then the deal didn't happen, within I think 4 to 6 months or something like that, I didn't use the money. It was gone. Like they took it back. So is that what happens if you don't use it? Then because it was Finance of America. So if you don't use it, then you no longer have it.
Now, what type of funding are we talking about? Was this a credit card?
A line of credit. Credit.
Yeah. If you don't use it, because some line of credit do have an expiration date, and if you don't use it, yes, it is taken away.
Okay, because that was in 22. It actually got funded January of 23. And yeah, he let me know. Come on, you got to use it.
You got to use it. Yeah. So
So
and
in
so this
the card, mhm.
so this is where you may hear where people say, hey, just get the credit card and just use it to put gas in it, right?
Mhm.
Just so you can show
Mhm.
activity.
Yeah.
You just want to show activity, because if you're not using it, then now I want to kind of give this idea to people that are wondering, because for those that are listening, they probably like, you know what, I still don't want credit cards because I don't want to go into debt. I don't even know what to spend. Here's the thing. If you're using cash and you're using your debit card to pay your bills, just transfer your bills, transfer anything that you're using cash and debit card to your credit card. Put the debit card in the drawer. It's not helping you build credibility, right? Put it on the credit card, and then you can set up auto pay with that bank card or with that bank account to pay the bills. You want every payment transactions, anything that you pay monthly as a necessity, make it count on a credit card. But it's important that you have a budget, of course. You don't want to go over budget. You don't want to just swipe frivolously and then end up spending more than what you would have had to spend if you just had cash in hands. I totally understand why people operate in cash, but you can do just the same with just operating with just the credit cards, right? You want to make all those payment experiences work. So like, I don't want to say get the credit card and then just use it to pay gas, because if we want to extend that line of credit or that business credit, they do want to see the other variable, which is your trends, your spending trends, right? And if you max out the card and your ability to pay back, your capacity to pay back, they will increase that line and increase your allowance. I like to say these credit lines are your allowance, right? So if you want to increase your allowance, you have to increase your expenditures, but then you also have to show that you're able to pay back. This is when they're going to make the decision to increase your credit line, when they see those type of transactions, that this is a trended payment. That's all they're looking for. So don't try to figure out or try to create stuff to spend. Do what you're already doing with your debit card and with cash, and just put it on a credit card and then have it rinse and repeat with the cash and paying it off. That's
But
a great tip to give.
are you talking about business credit cards, or are you talking about the personal credit cards?
That's on either. That's on either.
So
However
what
you
can I pay? What can I pay with my business credit card? I thought it had to be like actual business transaction.
Okay, folks, this is where I come in.
Okay.
On the screen, you see our opportunity cost calculator that manages your finances. If you have credit cards and you want to manage it so that everything is on the same screen and you can run it so that it doesn't get out of control, this is it. This is where we're going to help you to manage that so that you can use your credit cards responsibly. And then the program will tell you, all right, well, we're doing this, but in a couple of months, here's what we want to do. Let me give you an example here. I'm going to change this. We're going to reset this account. Okay. And then we're going to go over here and you want to be on YouTube to see this. Okay. So I'm resetting it. All right, good. So now we're running everything. And let's say you run up a balance. This program will say, okay, this month we're just going to pay minimums on the debt. This month, we're not going to pay minimums. We're actually going to pay the whole card off, because the program knows how much money you have to work with, so you won't get in trouble. You're still maintaining all your other bills, but you're keeping the credit cards under control. Now, how many credit cards can this system manage? How many can you get? Oh, how many can you get? Okay. There is no limit to what this thing can manage, so that not only can you see how you're paying off your debt, you can change any one of these windows that says, you know what? I can be paid off in 7.7 years on all of my debt if I wanted to, including my mortgage. I know when I'm going to make the next big payment on my debt. It's right there on the screen. I know how much interest I'm going to save. It's right there on the screen. If you want to know all the way down to what is the exact date I'm going to be done, we can the program does this. AI system even says on September 12th, 2032, you will be making your last payment. We have mortgages in here, student loans, credit cards, business loans. It runs everything. Okay. So while you're asking questions about how can I do this or what can you're saying, how can I manage it, doing everything in my head? I'm going to tell you right now, it is impossible. There is no one. What is the one thing I can do to manage this credit card correctly? There's too many variables.
Mm-hmm.
This program manages all of the variables. Well, I made this much money this month, but I had a lot of expenses last month. So what do I do? Well, the program will do all of the math and says, this is what you do now based on the information. So get a savings and earnings report, learn how to manage your finances. We're giving you the education and the technology to run everything. Get out of the guessing game. Get into the knowing game right here, right now. I hope that answers your question.
Almost done.
Okay, come on with me.
My question had to do with what I can use, because I don't use my business credit cards,
Mhm.
and they're just sitting.
Yeah.
So because they were created for investment purposes, like when to buy flats or 2-family flats and that kind of thing, and I haven't done that right now.
So are you restricted to where you can spend the money?
No, that's what I'm asking you.
You're not. That's what I'm saying.
Business credit cards to keep them going every month.
Right.
Keep it showing activity.
Uh-huh.
What can I use them for legally? Like, yeah.
Okay. Do you have any business expenses at all?
I don't right now because it's actually for buying and buying rental properties. Or money I might need once I buy a rental property, money I might need in order to fix it up.
Okay, wait a second. I didn't. You're giving me a specific business. I asked a different question. Do you have any business expenses at all? Even in another business?
I guess I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you have a business account, checking account, and a personal?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to make sure that your stuff is separate. All right. So what is it that you need to do business? What is it that you need to do business?
I need a computer.
Okay, you need a computer. Do you have the computer you need?
Office space.
Do you have the computer you need?
I do not.
Get it.
Okay.
Do you have the office space? Even
in my home.
Even a virtual space?
Yes.
Are you paying for a virtual space?
I am paying for it. Yes.
Oh, no, I'm telling you, that's in your house. I'm talking about outside the house.
Oh, no.
They're cheap. Start paying for one.
Okay.
Okay. There's a lot of stuff you can do. All right. There's a lot of stuff you can do. But when you get this program, you also get a coach.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
There's a coach that comes with it, and we can help you there. All right. So
it was like I started setting myself up for business.
Yeah.
But I don't know everything I can do now that I have the business credit card.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And then I actually really want to have my assisted living. That's the ultimate goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, there are a lot of things that you could do. Have you started looking for the building, or are you going to build it, or are you going to find an established building?
I'm going to find an established building first.
Okay. So do you know that there are things that you can purchase that can actually help you to find the building? We can help you with that as well.
Okay.
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 So you can start using the cards. Do you have income right now? Any type of
Yes,
income?
yes, yes.
So you have
I
the
have a career.
income.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, you don't. You said, listen, we'll show you how to use that business cards and then use the income to pay it back. So you'll show activity.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I want to know.
There you
Okay,
go.
thank
Yes, it can be done. We do it all the time.
Okay, thank you. Oh,
You
I
will.
see you, Anthony. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Anthony. I'm just getting started, Anthony, with these cards. So you gotta let me know.
All right. So yeah, start picking out all the stuff you need now. All right. To get ready. Get
Okay.
yourself totally set up. Just try to imagine what if my business, if I had everything going right now, if I had a business, what would I need to do business? Start getting the stuff now. Don't wait until don't wait. And then you have to do everything all at one time. And now your attention is divided.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Get everything you need. I got to get a computer now. I need this for this business. I need I need an iPad. So I get everything you need.
Okay.
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 All right.
All right. All right. Thank you, Anthony. I see you.
Get your printer. All of that. And I'm not talking about the Walmart printer either. I'm talking about the printer that you get that you have to maintain, a professional printer. Okay.
Okay.
Not the one that takes the ink cartridges.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
It costs more than the computer. I mean, more than the printer itself.
There you go. There you go. So you want to be in business. So go ahead and get your business stuff ready now. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, the other Dr. O, what do you have for us?
Oh, just real quick before you go to the next thing, still on Miss Paula's alignment. What I've seen a lot, or I've experienced a lot, is a lot of people are afraid to use their business credit or their business loans or business funding because they don't think they can pay it back. Do you guys deal with that?
What was your question, Dr. O?
I said, do you guys deal with people that have those issues as well? Is there like a strategy within the P.I.L.L method for that? A lot of people just like, oh, I don't want to use it. We're like, okay, you've been approved for $100,000. Like, I don't want to take that. I'm like, well, you've been approved for it. Why don't you want it? Well, I don't know if I can pay it back. Well, it's like, why are you business? So there's people that kind of, they don't know what to do now that they've been approved for this type of funding. They don't know how to use it for their business to make money for their business.
Well, see, our program is based on we have to put in where funds are coming from. Okay. And we will tell you, if you don't have money coming in, if you can't pay it back, you don't need to touch that credit at all. Period.
Period.
Period. With a T.
You know, I say that all the time. And you know, some
Doctor, are you a lawyer? She said sustained.
sustained.
Yeah, actually am. But yeah, no, I don't. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but the point is like for you all to do all this work,
Yeah.
right, and teach and educate, and then get people approved, get the funding, and then there's the spirit of fear, false evidence appearing real, and then people do get the money.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do for their business, like they're afraid to touch it. And it's like, this is a debt-based economy, and without debt, there is no business. So you've got to use the debt to make the money, but they don't want to use it because they don't know how. They don't know, well, I might not get customers. Well, it might not be a bad month. And it's like, okay. So if you have income, as Dawn is stating, then you can use your income in a certain way using the P.I.L.L method and every other tool that you all have. Everything will be fine, but people are not good. They just don't use their credit. They don't use their loans and lending and funding and lines of credit to make more money. So they just let it sit there. And as the sister just said, it goes away. So it's like, how do we get over that? And I'm just making sure that the program, as you stated, Don, the program will help with that as well.
Right. And your coaching will help with all of that. You want to make sure that everything is in place, because if I don't have enough, once I put everything in, once I put everything in, let me fix this. Let me show you what I mean. Okay. Edit. I'm going to make a change here. Okay. Let me see if I can make it do what I need it to do. Okay. If I don't have enough money coming in, the program instantly tells me your expenses exceed your available funds beginning on 1/1/2027. We can tell you exactly when you're going to be out of money. Okay.
Nice.
The program tells you that. So you have till 1/1/27 to correct your your situation with
Yep.
how much money you need to have coming in.
Wow. Okay, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But that's a good question that Dr. O asked, because, you know, again, I talk to customers, or I was talk to clients all the time. And that is their biggest fear, is that they don't want to get the funding because they're trying to figure out how they're going to pay it back. Depending on what industry that you're in. Like, I deal with a lot of real estate investors, and I have to kind of pan out like what's the exit strategy, and do you know the numbers? Because if you know the numbers and you know you're going to profit, that is what you're going to use to pay back what you've used on the cards, right? But then what we're talking about, e-commerces, you know, those that want to start Amazon stores or e-commerce stores and things like that. This is where you have to actually put a business plan together, do your market research, know what products and services are in need, so that way you know the potential clientele that you're going to reach. And this is where marketing comes in. I don't think a lot of people do marketing. They don't. They only stick to close proximity, which is friends and family and social media. But you may have to, and you will have to, reach outside of your network to find new customers. You don't want to base it on the people that is in close proximity, because you can only make so much. Isn't there a saying where they say your net worth is your net worth? Your network is your net worth. You may need to expand your network if you want to make more money. You know?
Listen, I went to a networking event just last week, and I was able to give them a lead, and they gave me a lead. I mean, I was there for dinner. They gave me a lead. I gave them a lead. I wouldn't have gotten that if I had stayed home.
Right.
So I'm increasing my network, and I'm meeting another guy I met there last week. I'm meeting him for lunch today. Okay.
Nice. See?
Same. To Credit
Yes.
Goddess and I've noticed my net worth is also my network, right? So my net worth has put me in places and rooms with people, or if I'm at the, Tesla dealership or the BMW dealer, or Rolls Royce dealership or whatever, because my net worth has me at a certain level, then my network that as well. So it does work hand in hand both ways. But I love what you just said. If you're not going to market, we're not talking about speak and talk. We're talking about market. That's totally different than telling people, showing people, and posting on the internet.
Exactly.
If you're not going to market, then you shouldn't be taking any type of funding anyway, because you're not marketing to receive a harvest or ROI on that funding. So, guys.
Absolutely.
So I got a question from Anthony. All right, Anthony, go ahead. Anthony, can you come up? Can you open up your mic and ask your question? I want to make sure I understand it. Or are you in a situation where you can't talk? You must be in a situation where you can't talk. He says, Don, is your pet program on your website? I don't know what that means. Everything that we talk about is on our website. But are you asking, can you access it from the website? Is that what you're asking? I'm not sure. Okay. But here's the process on getting the program. You must get a savings and earnings report first. We must do an analysis. Just like Credit Goddess said, we need to do a diagnosis before we can write a prescription. Okay. So people want to know, Don, how do I go to your website and purchase the program? You can't. You can't go to my website and purchase our program. Do you know why? Because we guarantee your results for life. We have to know you can be successful on our program because we give you a lifetime guarantee that we we are going to tell you what you can do in this program. And if we can't do it, if the program fails you, we have to give you your money back. So we want to be very clear that you can succeed on the program ahead of time. So nobody can go to our website and purchase a thing. They have to be approved first. We need to know what it is that you need, and do you have the wherewithal to accomplish your financial goals once we plug it into our program. And if it says that we can, then now we can start talking about how to get the program, how to get started. But do you realize there's some people, we tell them, you're not ready for our program just yet?
Mm-hmm.
They may even have the money to purchase, and we tell them, you're not ready for our program just yet. Okay? You need to have these things in place first so you can be successful on our program. So no, there's no place that you can go and purchase. We have to be approved, and then we take you through the system on how to purchase the program. And Anthony says that makes sense. Okay, excellent. All right. Good question. Good question. Any other questions out there? Because we've been here. Credit guys, listen, do you realize we've been there 3 hours and 5 minutes?
Listen, this credit conversation can go a long time.
3 hours and 5 minutes. So folks, do not sit on this information. Okay. It doesn't cost to find out. It doesn't cost to ask questions. So go to ice10k.com and get a savings report. Click on that link about the funding bar. Okay. Get that link and click on it. Get the information you need to see how far you can go. You may have everything in place. And if you don't have everything in place, at least we can tell you what you need to go to the next step. Don't sit there and suffer in silence. Get some help, and we can give you a track to run on to get you where you want to go. Okay?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Do I have any other questions out there? Because when the questions run out, the time runs out. We're going to be gone. Besides, credit guys may have some appointments. I know I got some appointments coming up.
I have some coming up in the next hour.
Okay, in the next hour. So listen, folks, we're getting ready to get out of here. Don't waste this time. If you got another question, raise your hand, come to the stage, or put it in the chat, put it in the comment section, wherever you're watching us from or listening to us on. Let's get those questions answered for you right now. Okay. Is there something you want to put on the screen, credit guys? You just let me know.
Nope, nothing else.
Okay.
Else.
All right, folks. Listen, we're getting ready to get out of here. Okay. We're getting ready to get out of here. I've got something to play for you, and to show you that there are people out there that are working with our programs, that are doing well on our programs, so that you can know that you can trust the program. Plus, I'm going to be in Philadelphia in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be speaking there on the 20th. We're going to show you that information as well. But let's hear from Dr. Eric Thomas right now.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you going to keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm going to keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't got to do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
All right, folks, go to ice10k.com, ice10k.com, and get a savings and earnings report. And here's a little information about where I'm going to be. Okay, this is a tech conference. Okay, and we're going to be talking about how AI can be used in the mortgage game and in investing. All right. AI is coming to mortgages and investing. It is the only, and I got invited to come to this tech conference because they heard about what we're doing. So, and you know, at these tech conferences, they have breakout rooms. Okay. But guess what? They didn't give me a breakout room. What they gave me said, listen, we need you to address the entire General Assembly from the main stage. They want everybody to get this information. All right. So I'm going to be there. It's at Diversitech. All right. Let me see if I can put that on the screen for you. All right. If you know anybody. All right. There we go. Diversitech. And let me put this on the screen. There we go. All right. Diversitech, and get your tickets there. If you know anybody in Philadelphia, I'm going to be speaking on the 21st. It's from the 20th through the 22nd. I'm going to be speaking on the 21st. So get your information from Diversitech. This is my first tech conference, and I'm already getting invitations to go to other tech conferences. And I haven't even spoken at this one yet. All right. So it's going to be, when you talk about how to market and how to get your message out, one way to get your message out is to become a speaker. All right? Become a speaker. There you go. All right. So, and you can write a book, and we've done that too. So that's another way to get your message out. I use my books as business cards. You got a business card? Yeah. Here's my book. What? There you go. Get your message out. I'm constantly marketing to get our message out. All right. Oh, and Credit Goddess, can I tell you something that happened to me just a few minutes ago? Are you there? I can't hear you.
You know, I was on mute. My
you're
apologies.
you're on mute. Okay.
Yes.
I got a message from somebody who said, for my Instagram, they can grow my Instagram overnight by 100,000 followers. Should I touch that?
No.
Folks, don't fall for that.
No.
Don't do it.
Please don't. Grow your audience authentically, organically.
There are no shortcuts, people.
Right.
Don't do it.
Stop with the shortcuts. Yes. It would be so much more fulfilling, and you will see the value, and you will appreciate the journey. And
Yes.
that's what people are not taking the time, is to appreciate the journey. They want to get to the destination so fast. I mean, I wish we can teleport to Russia or to China in a matter of seconds. But I mean, should we enjoy the ride?
Yeah.
I want to enjoy the ride. I want to enjoy the scenic route on the way there. If you tell me that it's going to take me 20 hours to get there, I'm going to enjoy the whole entire ride. Why do we need to get there quickly?
There are shortcuts to the top. Okay. But the journey to the top will keep you at the top. If you take shortcuts to get to the top, you won't be there very long, because you don't have enough experience. You don't have what you need to stay where you are. Okay. So take facts. Listen, the journey is what you need. The journey is what you need for sustainability. That's what you need. Okay.
Yep. I agree.
All right, folks. All right, listen, I want to thank everybody for being here. Credit Goddess, we've got this link, all right, for the to get the credit. To get the funding.
Yes.
But
syndicated line of credit.
We don't have anything to contact you on if I need credit repair or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's true. You know what? I don't market the credit side as much because it's so time consuming. Listen, it's time consuming. I I would rather send them to like an AI credit,
Okay.
in themselves and host classes,
Right.
because one-on-ones, because I'm putting a lot of time into the funding side, because of course in this economy right now, a lot of businesses need help. Don, do you understand?
It makes
You know,
sense. It makes sense.
I
You
I
only have
have
so
to
much
dedicate
bandwidth.
time.
Yep.
Yes, so much bandwidth, especially the fact that people love the way I educate.
Yeah.
I need to I need to be available to speak to the masses than individuals that need credit repair.
All right, everybody,
Yeah.
you heard
But
it.
but if anyone, I still offer the service. You guys can go to budgetcredit360.com and go to services, sign up there. I want to say this because I don't know many of you guys know this, but Lexington Law was recently, well, I wouldn't say recently, about 2-3 years ago, they were sued for $21 billion for violating the TSR rule, which is the telemarketing sales rule. If you're hiring someone for credit repair, don't call and ask for prices. Don't call and ask how the services work. Read through the website, understand how the services work, then pay for the services, then we can talk. This is how CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, want credit repair organizations to run. We cannot have a conversation with you about credit repair because then we have to talk about pricing and then we have to collect payments over the phone because we're not going to hang up the phone without collecting payment. And that is what violates the TSR. We're not supposed to sell to you. We're supposed to educate you, which is why I do this education. Ever since you know me, Don, that's all I do is educate.
Yep.
And I build the like, know, and trust, and people hire me for my services because they love the education. They see the value in that more than the service in itself. Because if you guys know, credit repair is, well, I wouldn't even say credit repair, credit building, because
Yeah.
I mean, there's really not much to repair unless you have some accounts on there that is not yours. But like I said earlier, we can still get you funding whether you have a collection on there as long as it's paid and zeroed off, closed and zeroed out. If it has a balance on it, you got to take care of it. But if you remove the whole entire account, then you remove the history, you remove the age, and you need that so that you can be to show experience. If you remove the whole entire experience, just like removing a job, and you're trying to go for a 6-figure job, and that one job that you got fired from had all the accolades that you needed to get this 6-figure job, and you remove that off your resume. What history do we have to stand on to say that you qualify for this 6-figure job? If you remove the history? So that's how I like to explain an account, even if it went into default, as long as you paid it, meaning go make amends with that financial institution, because maybe you might need to go back and build a relationship in the future anyway, and they can still see that you owe them, whether I remove it off your credit report or not. You know what I'm saying? So I always say, just go do the right thing and go make amends. It's the fact that some people just don't want to pay. And if you don't want to pay, then don't, like you said earlier, don't touch credit. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. It's going to cause you so much frustration and heartache because you're not understanding the principles, and you're not understanding the logic and the concept of the game. You want to finagle your way through instead of going about it the right way.
Exactly.
It's not going to take care of your credit, and your credit would take care of you. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
Listen, folks, I put those links in there. The ice10k.com is in the chat. Also, the link to get the funding is in the chat. So do what you got to do, ladies and gentlemen, to get you where you want to go. Don't sit on this information. If you have a need and you wait till tomorrow to reach out, that's a mistake. If you have a need and you have the information, reach out today. Get the process started today. Don't wait. Okay? Don't wait. So, Credit Goddess, I want to thank you very much for being here with me today. It has been a absolute pleasure to have you on our show and giving out all of this valuable information. I do hope and pray that a lot of people here take advantage of the information. And I'll give you one last opportunity to ask a question, anybody. Okay. And if you don't take it, we're going to be out of here in just a few seconds. So, Credit Goddess, do you have one final thing to say before we go?
Yep. You guys can connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and also TikTok. I'm going to be on TikTok. You guys can find me at Your Credit Goddess on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me at RoseAllure. No, I think it's Your Credit Goddess on TikTok as well, where I would be providing more of this type of content, having in-depth conversation. Of course, I'm not like basic. I'm very detailed because I actually do this. I'm hands-on with my clients because of the position that I'm in with, Cap.Well funding and all the business brokerage that I'm a part of and banks that I have relationships with. So I have the information for you guys if you guys trying to navigate through how to get approved, how to improve your credit to get in the best position. I will be offering that. You guys can also find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook group. If anybody needs to repair their credit, go to Budget Credit 360 Community. Go ahead and send your request to join there. And then I also have 2 funding groups on Facebook. One is called Black Women Get Funded Too, and Black Men Get Funded Too. 2 separate groups for 2 separate genders. All races are welcome, but I want to help the disadvantaged. Is a lot of us are in not in the best position for funding, and it's not because of color. It's just because of information and education. So myself and my colleagues are going to come in and just educate you guys on how to get in the best position for funding, so we can grow and scale these businesses, and also buy businesses too. Listen, that's a new thing we got to talk about: buying businesses, not starting one. Buy businesses. These baby boomers are aging out, and they want people to buy them out. So let's get our personal credit together. Let's get the funding and let's buy out businesses. Pass it down to your children, keep it for yourself, however you're going to do it. But instead of starting one and having to go through the growing pains, buy an existing business. That's a new thing right now. That's the wealth transfer. We definitely got to tap into it, but we got to get in position for funding so we can qualify for that. Exactly. So definitely tap in with me on that.
All right, folks, you heard it. So there's 2 links in there. So Todd Swift is saying, can somebody put that in the chat? You can get everything you need from the 2 links above. So you can start out with that funding bar will get you to Credit Goddess. All right. And you can contact her on her Instagram. All right. You can do that. You can go to ice10k.com to get a hold of us as well. We're not going to list every single thing individually. You can get everything you need from these 2 links and from our Instagram. Reach out and you can get help. Karen Scroggins cover mortgages, car payment, and school loans. Karen, do this. Go to ice10k.com or thepillmethod.com and click on the button that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Put everything you have in there, and then we'll produce for you a free report that lets you know when you can be debt-free on mortgages, car payments, and school loans. And also education comes with it. Oh my gosh, you can't beat it with a stick. All right, folks, we're out of here. See you next week. But let me show you next week's show. There it is. Okay. I don't know what Elon and Donald are doing, but I haven't checked today. Let me check on something. All right, let me check on something right quick. And while we're doing this, MS, okay.
While you're checking, Don, can I ask when you will be back? When is this show on again?
All right, we'll be back next Wednesday live.
Okay, every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday I'm live. On Fridays and Sundays are replays.
Okay.
Okay, but we will be back. This show is going to be on. And listen, the Dow has dropped another 287 points. Okay, so listen, folks, that's right. That's up as of now. Okay, I don't know what these guys are doing or what they think they're doing. All right, but financially, we are in trouble. We need to figure out how we can navigate our way out of this. Don't just sit and hope it's going to get better. You need to be proactive. And we're going to be talking about some of the things that you can do to be proactive to make sure you have income in these uncertain times. Okay?
And one more thing,
Yes,
Credit Goddess, I did at 10 o'clock, I put the message in your Instagram messages.
Okay, we'll check it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, dear.
You're
All right,
welcome.
all right, baby. You see what you need. All right. You can see our content on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Google Pill Method, and you'll find us everywhere to follow our content. And if you follow us on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell. All right, everybody. We're out of here till next week. Credit Goddess, thank you again one last time. And we're going to
Thank you
play
for
our.
having me.
You're so welcome. We're playing ourselves out. See you guys next week. Bye bye now.